where she came from that day. Hell, when she was standing up there holding that cell phone. Girl, it was too many runs. You gotta learn to sing like me, girl. You gotta learn to sing like me. Girl, don't nobody want to hear all that. But now let me stop playing, y'all. Because y'all know I love me some Kimber Hale. We both sleep with the same man and not. His name Jesus. You know that's the only man that's interested in us. Sometimes we ain't even sure if he interested. Now, even though Kim could have did a better job, I'm glad she was there. Because I couldn't take seeing my old friend Jessie. I just couldn't take seeing Jessie like that. I couldn't. Y'all know we all used to run around. We was all cool. Well, everybody telling their story, so let me tell mine. I ain't never slept with none of them now. Don't get it twisted. I ain't never slept with none of them. Okay? But we all met. This was back in the 60s. And I met him at the Playboy Mansion. We was all there. We was just kicking it. You know, just playing little dice, playing little spades. Yeah, there was a lot of stuff going on. But you know, he was there to desegregate the schools. You know, he was there to desegregate the schools. Oh yeah, that's what I remember. Right, desegregate the schools. Yeah, that's right. Now, Martin couldn't take Jesse nowhere. Because Jesse was off the hook. He was running around telling them hoes, yeah, y'all gonna desegregate these nuts. I'm telling y'all, Jesse was off the hook. Yes. Oh, Marty Ma and Jesse and Hosea Williams. That boy Hosea, that was a man. Hosea, he was a man. Every time I think about him, a song come to mind. And I really miss my homies, even though you're gone away. I know you're in a better place. Come on, y'all, sing it with me. And I really miss my homies, even though you're gone away. Oh, Jesse, mother, it was my niggas. It was my niggas. But they told me. That's why I couldn't be at the funeral. I couldn't sing. I couldn't do it. They asked me, but I couldn't do it. And plus, Kojic was going to be in the building. Y'all know I'm banned from Kojic. They still remember. Girl, they threatened Maddie Moss Clark, talking about they was going to sit her down because she wanted to go on stage with her daughters. I had enough. I went up in that office. I closed that door. And we got furniture moving up in there. There was some balls being thrown. And they put me out, child. I walked up in that office like I'm a no-limit soldier. Oh, they drugged me out. But I drug a few of them out with me. Praise God. Because you know Maddie Moss Clark, Dr. Maddie Moss Clark, that was my girl. Oh, we're going to war for Maddie Moss Clark. We're going to war. Child, they wasn't ready. But I love Maddie because she did try to talk me out of it. She said, don't do it, girl. Don't go up in there. Don't do it. But you know, I had to. But anyway, it was a lovely service. And Now we gonna move on. Praise God. Now, Louisiana, y'all need to watch out. Y'all need to watch out, okay? My friend Charlene, she down on the usher board at Smith, Hold My Mule Missionary Baptist Church. And they got a whole list of new ones. Just look at them. Just nasty. Don't make no sense. Don't make no sense. They got so much to say about black people. Just got a lot to say. 13% of this, but commit 90%. That's horse pucking. Them statistics are not even backed by the FBI data. Y'all some lying ass devils from hell. This one, he liked to poke animals. Just nasty. See, but I told you that's what they was doing back in them caves. I told you. They like goat booty. Just nasty. Ooh. Lord. All that damn hair. Ooh. Ooh, this child, his mama must have been screwing a Grinch. Ooh. They got so much to say. This one can barely fit in the picture. Down here on the left, on the bottom left, he can barely fit in the whole picture. What is wrong with these white men? This one ain't even got no neck. How you trying to get at children? He ain't even got no neck. Just nasty. Y'all some nasty white men. But this what you do. Just nasty. Ugh. Y'all just so nasty. Well, not all white people is bad people. You know, they're not all bad people. But it's so crazy how they try to come up with all these little statistics and they be wrong, just wrong.
What percentage of shootings do white men commit?
I don't have the number prepared.
Well, I do know the number.
Oh, what's the number?
So of mass shootings,
Yep.
black men commit 50 to 60% of them. White men commit about 20 to 25%.
Sure about that, Michael? Because I just looked it up. And according to Statistica, 84 of the mass shootings committed between 1983 and 2025 were committed by white people, and only 21 by black people. According to the National Institute of Justice, 52% of the mass shootings were committed by white people, 21% by black people. And according to the Rockefeller Institute, 55% were committed by white people. I think you have it backwards.
You said it's more likely to be a trans shooter, and it's...
Is that my dude, Jolly Ginger? Now, y'all, that's Jolly Ginger right there. Now, he is a good white man. I like Jolly Ginger. So, you know, when I be talking, I ain't talking about Jolly Ginger. Jolly Ginger is good. And Jolly Ginger knew that man was full of shit from the time his ugly ass walked through the door with his ugly ass, just full of shit.
Nah, you just debunked yourself.
Of adult men, the trans are twice as likely.
Oh, that changes things. Wait, no, it doesn't. Because only 1% of the population identify as trans.
Is it talking about them translenders? You know, I ain't got nothing against translenders. I'm talking about them translenders, huh?
And that's trans female as well as trans males. And I'm assuming that also includes non-binary individuals as well.
And I just want to say this one thing, because, you know, I be seeing the news. And I'm telling you, these translender women, I'm telling you, these translender women, They be in the bathrooms, but see, y'all be trying to come at the black ones. Can't come at them black ones. Cause see, them black ones, they be knowing. They know what to do. They know what to do, how to do it, when to do it, and when to do it right, and how to flip it, and they know how to do it. Okay? Them white ones, though, them white transgender women, they be looking just like this man on the screen, full beard and all, and it be them that be in them bathrooms, talking about they want to shave their beard, but then they a woman. See, it be them, I'm sorry, you know, I'm sorry to bring color into it, but I got to, because I'm from the old school, and I'm sorry that you can't understand that race is in everything. Just like God is in everything. He know everything. But I'm telling you, it be them white ones, from what I be seeing, because y'all know I be watching the news. I told you about Iran 9 years ago. Like, so I be watching the news, and I'm just saying, I be noticing when it be talking about men in the bathroom or transgenders in the bathroom, they be looking just like this white man, full beard and all, talking about they want to shave.
1% of the population. So what you're saying is, even if half of that 1%, which, by the way, would be 0.5% of the population, identify as trans female. So you're saying that 0.5% of the population are more likely to be more violent than 50% of the population? Really? Because according to the study done by Sweden, over the last 50 years or so, granted most of the tracking has been done over the last 20, 30 years, but according to this study, it did find that both trans females, biological males, and trans males, biological females, are more likely to commit any type of crime than a cisgendered biological female. However, they are just as likely to commit crimes, again, any crime, as a cisgendered biological male. So there is absolutely no proof that a transgender female is more likely to commit a crime of any kind than a biological cisgendered male. Also, did you know that transgender individuals are more likely to be a victim of a crime than a cisgendered person?
But white women in particular have benefited an extraordinary amount from diversity, equity, and inclusion policies. We need to stand up and talk about our pride in participating in one of the extraordinary civil rights advances of our nation. All of us who have benefited need to make that example and talk about it. But
Child, they got Dr. Robotnik on here. I remember Dr. Robotnik when my nephew used to play that little Sonic the Hedgehog game, and remember that little fat white man? Yeah, that's him right here, Dr. Robotnik.
They're trying to knock out the white race.
You think so?
Oh, amen.
Hey, aloha. So my race is white folk. Hear me out. No group of color is actively trying to kill off the white race. Contrary to that, it's actually the white race that has, throughout history, been trying to kill people of color. On top of that, there wouldn't be so much race mixing if your people didn't colonize literally every corner of the planet and force themselves upon indigenous people.
Right, with your little nasty asses. Just came on the land with your little penis out. They were so micro we couldn't see them. But yeah, that's just nasty.
I mean, let's face the reality, as many of the American white founding fathers have illegitimate children because they forced themselves upon the women that they held in bondage. Now, when it comes to the claim of being replaced and us replacing you, again, get real. Nobody's out here trying to actively displace white folk. In fact, a lot of people would rather stay in their beloved indigenous homelands, but because a lot of white-dominated nations have gone into those regions throughout history, destabilized them, and continue to this day to steal their natural resources.
Because y'all didn't want to stay in the caves. See, we let you come out the caves, and you see how you act? We brought you out the caves. We found you in the caves. You were sleeping with your goats and your dogs. You couldn't read, and we know y'all got there from Megyn Kelly, because she brought y'all, she rounded you up in the spaceship. And, we know, we been knew Megyn Kelly was an alien. Tentacles, we seen them come out of her back. She dropped all y'all off in the mountains. Y'all was eating the wrong turn. People who made the wrong turn. We know y'all history too. We know y'all are alien species. That's why you burn in the sun. Like a genetic mutation. See, you can fool these people, but you can't fool that sun.
It leaves people in quite the predicament, which makes a lot of them have to migrate to better opportunities. So if preserving the white race was always the agenda of the white people, maybe they should have thought about that before they colonized the entire planet and destabilized almost every brown and indigenous space.
And there's something else y'all ain't gonna like to hear. But y'all used to have a little melanin in your skin. You used to have a little melanin. But see, when your people went up to them caves, well, actually, they was forced up to them caves because they was getting their asses whooped. When your people went up to them caves, to the mountains, they was mating and mixing and mingling with them horites. Them horites. Them horites was mixed with Nephilim. Them horites was mixed with Nephilim. Reptilians. See, because I know who y'all come from in the Bible. Y'all come from Esau. And Esau went up to the mountains and they was mating and mixing with them horites. And that's not to be confused with that lost little child, Nixie Manage. Ain't that her name? Nixie Manage. Or is it Nicky Manage? You know who I'm talking about. The rapper, the little rapper girl that used to be with black people, and then she came in, she used all the heterosexuals and the transgender community, the LGBT community, and then that rapper, her, and then who was the other one? What's her name? Kim Retardashian? Is it Kim Retardashian? Not her sister Chloe, because we know she a man. Not her. And those two bitches that's the close to Dump. What's the one named the blonde one? Pam bitch. And then the other dark skin, the one that shoot the bullets out her breast, the femme fatale. Kristen Nobody. See, now you can't get them confused with the horites. See, now them girls I just named, them just whores who have rights. Them not the horites. See, the horites was an ancient people who mixed with the Nephilim.
People are the problem. They are the white people are the problem. They are the problem. White people ain't White people killed Charlie Kirk. White people enslaved nations of people. White people ruined this country. White people, not black people. Black people built this country from the ground up. White people came and ruined it. The Italian mob, the Russian mob, the Irish mob. America was divided before I came and talked to you.
This is proof. See, even though he got this damn star on his shirt. Hey, y'all, by the way. Yeah, auntie gone. You're here with me now. Even though he got this star on his shirt, his message is correct. And this is proof that it's been Hebrew Israelites out here on the corners since the 1960s telling white folks that these people over in that false state, that they're imposters. That they're imposters since the 1960s. And y'all just now coming to that revelation. In the end, you are going to see your racism cost you greatly. And I know you'll try to sit up here, oh, you're racist too. Baby, I don't got no colored, I don't got no whites only and colored water fountain only. I ain't did that. These race riots that I'm reading about, we ain't did that. Y'all have done that. And every time somebody goes to tell you about your history, it's, oh, we did this. Oh, no, you did this. You are the problem. It's you. Hi. You're the problem. It's you. At tea time, everybody agrees. Fuck.
You were sitting here with people who disagree with Trump and you agree with Trump. Yeah. That's the vision. Freedom of speech. That's the vision. I didn't divide you. No, you're saying black and white are different. What's the difference? Not. So what's the difference between me saying that and what's his name? Stephen Johnson saying the Democrats are the problem. Is Stephen Johnson not dividing the country politically? 100%. Is Donald Trump not dividing the country politically? 100%. Is his office not dividing the country politically? 100%. So white people are the problem. Not some black man that's sitting out here asking interviews. I'm not dividing the country. White people are dividing the country. Hold on. And to that point, when was America ever united? Hold on. When was America? We haven't been. That's the fucking problem. Hold on. Who caused that? Hold on. Who caused that? Fucking white people. So what should happen to white people for dividing the country?
Now, he fell on his own sword on that.
White people are the problem. They are the problem. White people ain't White people killed Charlie Kirk. White people enslaved nations of people. White people ruined this country. White people, not black people. Black people built this country from the ground up. White people came and ruined it. The Italian mob, the Russian mob, the Irish mob. America was divided before I came and talked to you. Let me ask you. You were sitting here with people who disagree with Trump and you agree with Trump. Yeah. That's the vision. Freedom of speech. That's the vision. I didn't divide you. No, you're saying black and white are different. What's the difference? Not. So what's the difference between me saying that and what's his name? Stephen Johnson saying the Democrats are the problem. Is Stephen Johnson not dividing the country politically? 100%. Is Donald Trump not dividing the country politically? 100%. Is his office not dividing the country politically? 100%. So white people are the problem. Not some black man that's sitting out here asking interviews. I'm not dividing the country. White people are dividing the country. Hold on. And to that point, when was America ever united? Hold on. When was America? We haven't been. That's the fucking problem. Hold on. Who caused that? Hold on. Who caused that? Fucking white people. So what should happen to white people for dividing the country?
Now, so my thing is this, right? They come with this narrative, right? Oh, you're dividing the country. You see what that white man was trying to say to the black one? You're dividing the country. You're dividing the country. How can we divide the country when America, the country, when you started it, it started divided. It started divided. And you cannot deny that you have put in place systematic tools of oppression or tactics to keep us down. That's why I'm doing this Happy White History Month, to show you we can black folks, I know you'll laugh. See, you will laugh. You will laugh at it, right? Because in your white mind, you think, oh, it can never happen. These niggas, they could never get another Tulsa, right? Tulsa. They can never get another Black Wall Street. Never. That's what you think. But I'm gonna tell you something. If it was to come to pass, your laughter is going to turn into fury. You are going to be furious. You've already demonstrated this in the past, time and time again. A tiger don't change his stripes, do it? You ain't changed yours. Y'all still on the same racist shit. You just now your and I'm telling you, these, even though I might clown these men, even though I might clown these guys that do these riots and I'm reading about it and stuff like that, I respect them more than I respect you cowards on Facebook with your blank profiles. You want to say all this racist stuff, but then when you go to your page, it's a fake profile. It's a profile picture of something else. You're a coward. You are a coward hiding behind a page. I don't believe in censorship. I don't believe in, when you get to saying your bullshit, your 13%, but 90%, I don't think you should be fired for that. Nope. Because guess what? I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you how 96% of, I believe, they were saying 96%. Hold on. Let me go to it. 93.6% of sexual abuse offenders were men. 57.5 were white. 57.5. And your little Black Americans make up 13% of the population but commit over 50% of murders, is often referred to as 13 and 52, or similar with the 90% figure commonly cited in white supremacist propaganda, which is not supported by FBI data. So the jig is up. But you're so hateful that you want to believe that in your heart. You want that to be true so bad. Through doing this, I did learn that, Black people ain't killing white people at the rates that I thought was happening. Or guess what? White people ain't killing Black people at the same rates that I thought it was, even with the police and all of that. See, but I'm man enough to admit, what I thought was wrong. You're not. You can't even say what you have to say using your own profile. You have to hide behind a profile because you're a coward.
White people are the problem. They are the problem. White people killed Charlie Kirk. White people enslaved nations of people. White people ruined this country. White people, not black people. Black people built this country from the ground up. White people came and ruined it. The Italian mob, the Russian mob, the Irish mob. America was divided before I came and talked to you. Let me ask you. You were sitting here with people who disagree with Trump and you agree with Trump. Yeah. That's division. Freedom of speech. That's division. I didn't divide you. No, you're saying black and white are different. What's the difference? So what's the difference between me saying that and what's his name?
No. When the white guy said, you're saying that blacks and whites are different, and we're not. I agree with you. I do. I agree. Black people and white people are very much alike. Very much so. We have some differences. We do. but we are very much alike. You want to know why? Because in front of you, you have Esau on the right, and you have Jacob on the left. Both of you are brothers. Both of you motherfuckers are brothers that can't even get along. What you think your father gonna do to you when you get up to heaven? What you think is gonna happen to both? But the Most High is going to have mercy on Jacob, because Jacob was put into punishment, and Jacob served their sentence for 400 years. Oh, but don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. Oh, this right here, that would happen inside urban air, this right here, and your little takeovers that you're planning, this right here, this is why a lot of our own people are going to be dealt with. Yeah, Jacob, Judah, black folk, we did go through. But that's no excuse for this shit. I'm only giving y'all a taste, because I'm going to keep it separate, because I want you to know, after I get done with this White History Project, Happy White History Project, black folk, you up next. You up next. See, white folk, I'm fair. I'm very much so fair. You go through my videos, I talk about the rap music. I talk about the Jordans and the gold teeth. I talk about that. So yes, I address my own as well. I also address my own in the LMNOP community as well. I do. Over here, ain't nothing off limits. No one is off limits. So, get ready. Look at this shit. I talk about this. I talk about stuff like this. Go throughout my videos. I talked about that lady that got jumped by them kids in Chicago. Oh, I talk about my own. So don't get it twisted. And I'm telling black folk, I'm going to be talking to you next. And I'm telling you right now, it's going to be very much so. Whoever put this "are we dar," you happy to be dumb. You happy to be dumb. You're going to turn 60 years old and be a drunk bum. That's what you are. You probably a class clown. And I'm telling you, take a good look at the people that's around you. At the older people that's around you. Them bums, when they be smelling like alcohol, that's going to be you. It ain't going to be funny then when ain't nobody dar for you. You're going to see your classmates graduate and become nurses, doing something with their life, while you still sucking on a bottle, on a liquor bottle. Not doing nothing with your life. Talking about some "are we dar." And then when these white folks call you dumb, now you ready to fight. But you have no problem acting like it and showing it. Oh, but when somebody call it out, they're wrong. So, yeah, that's what it's going to be, very much on that tone. It's coming. Because I'm sick of this shit. For the longest time, I'm being real honest with y'all. For the longest time, I didn't want to believe that in that 2/3 doctrine. I didn't. But as time has progressed and I just watch stuff like this and I just see, if it is true, I see why. I see why. And I hate to be like that, but I see why. But don't be snickering, white folk. Because like I said, I mean what I say. I think about 95% of y'all are going to burn in hell. White people. 95%. But for now, this where we at.
White people are the problem. They are the problem. White people ain't White people killed Charlie Kirk. White people enslaved nations of people. White people ruined this country. White people, not black people. Black people built this country from the ground up. White people came and ruined it. The Italian mob, the Russian mob, the Irish mob. America was divided before I came and talked to you. Let me ask you. You were sitting here with people who disagree with Trump and you agree with Trump. Yeah. That's division. Freedom of speech. That's division. I didn't divide you. No, you're saying black and white are different. What's the difference? So what's the difference between me saying that and what's his name? Stephen Johnson saying the Democrats are the problem. Is Stephen Johnson not dividing the country politically? 100%. Is Donald Trump not dividing the country politically? 100%. Is his office not dividing the country politically? 100%. So white people are the problem. Not some black man that's sitting out here asking interviews. I'm not dividing the country. White people are dividing the country. Hold on. And to that point, when was America ever united? Hold on. When was America? We haven't been. That's the fucking problem. Hold on. Who caused that? Hold on. Who caused that? Fucking white people.
I like what she be talking about.
We're seeing a new thing in the earth where white people are believing that their culture is being erased. And when you ask them what white culture is being erased, they can't even tell you. They can't tell you what white culture is being erased because what white culture really is just control. Controlling what history gets taught, what beauty looks like, what success looks like, whose voices gets heard and whose voices gets ignored. But now, something different is happening. The world ain't just accepting one version of the story anymore. People push back when history gets oversimplified. People question stereotypes instead of just letting them slide. White folks have been so used to having the loudest voice in the room that even basic pushback feels like an attack. The world is changing and they don't like that. More voices, more representation, more people telling their own stories instead of being spoken for. Now, equality feels like oppression. Now they feel like they're losing something, but all they're losing is control. Control over the people they've been oppressing this entire time.
Hey, y'all remember what happened to them white folks at the end of the movie, People Under the Stairs? Y'all remember what happened to them? And then in that movie, it came to find out they was brother and sister. Ew. Go watch that movie, People Under the Stairs. The dude on the left, all the way on the left, he is a piece of shit.
I can't wait for this guy to tell us what's wrong with America. Go ahead, brother. No, hear what it is. What's the issue?
Okay, well, sure. Sobering truth is American people have abandoned civility as a prerequisite for leadership.
Amen.
I would say white Christians, of which Donald Trump performs pretty well with, have abandoned sexual assault as a disqualifying factor for leadership, right? Some would say, if you look at Catholics, it was never a factor for their leadership, right? I just think we need nuance when we talk about these things.
I agree with him. And I also want to let it be known that just like I keep my foot on y'all neck about y'all being pedophiles, I have the other foot on these black pastors, apostles, bishops, and deacons who are doing Hester Chester stuff in the church. So, yeah, that's also gonna be I'm sharing this because, like I said, from this video, do you see how they try to not accept the numbers for the casualties they commit? And I'm talking about that false imposter state. It's so they can later on say, oh, our involvement was minimal. We fired less than 1% of missiles and ammo. That's how they did with the transatlantic slave trade. Oh, our involvement was less than 1%. But they lied because the slave markets was shut down on ill-ish holidays. That's how involved they were. Listen.
I expect you to come here to accept that Israel has nuclear weapons. I'm not giving you the fact, but it's for you to deflect. Also, you were talking about Israel being a saint in all of this. I mean, we can go back historically, and I can tell you about the King David Hotel bombings, Argon and Shargon, and all the other atrocities. Even Gaza here, that Israel first denied the number of people killed in Gaza. Finally, they accepted the number. At first, they first said the numbers from the Gaza Health Ministry was wrong. Finally, they came around. Even what they're doing in the West Bank and all of that. And a lot of crimes.
Yes.
Because they do that because they want to they won't accept the numbers now. So they'll come back later and say, oh no, see, our involvement was less than 1%. They always trying to minimize the atrocities that they commit on others. And that's one of the tactics that they have used. And these people have thrown white people, regular white people, like, Tucker Carlson and, just regular white folks, they've thrown them under the bus. They've thrown them, when you look at it like, yeah, white folks did this, but who's been pulling the strings the whole time and influencing both sides? It's been the Jewish people.
The Israeli army is being investigated for a lot of crimes. And we all know that. So if you think Israel is the same, I mean, it's well, hang on a minute. Let me finish. Do not interrupt, Ambassador.
Tell
Let me finish.
Tell him.
So you can go ahead and claim all of that. But the interesting part is also the hypocrisy I see.
That part.
Only last year, when you had a 12-day war, you said, I mean, the words of Donald Trump and Israel allies, they had obliterated the nuclear program in Iran.
Exactly. Woo! That was satisfying to watch. It scratched an itch. This is Rufai Oseni, a Nigerian TV broadcaster, taking to task the Israeli ambassador to Nigeria. This is how it should be freaking done. We should be pulling them up on their bullshit, their gaslighting, and their lies. They should be taken to task authoritatively with freaking facts. And we do not see enough of this in the Western media because, oh my God, we might be called anti-Semitic. Oh my God, it's Israel. Who gives a rat's ass? Israel is literally leading the world into war after war after war, stripping people of their liberties, livelihood, and life in their own individual countries because of this Zionist power construct. Let me tell you this right now. Kudos.
Let me tell you this, my Nigerian woman. And I love my Nigerian people, don't get me wrong, I do. But look up, was there a Nigeria before 70 AD? Never mind, I'll ask it for you.
No, the name Nigeria didn't exist before 70 AD.
The name didn't exist because we ran into Africa in 70 AD. We ran into Africa from Israel. Okay? Books like From Babylon to Timbuktu, which they try to discredit because it proves our existence and it proves that they owned the slave markets, or they were major players in the slave markets. That's why they try to discredit that book. But books like that tell you we ran into Africa in 70 AD. There was no name Nigeria because the people there, the Nigerians, they're the Israelites. At one point in time, we all knew this. We all knew this. But because of white folk things have changed. Even Tim Tebow is calling y'all out. Y'all sit up here, y'all like to talk about black fathers and, no black father being at home. But it looks like y'all only stayed to get at y'all kids in a sexual way. You white fathers, that's what it looked like here.
The number one offender type.
And we're going to let this play a few times so you can let this sink in. You need to hear it. This is one of your... I remember this boy. This was your great white hope right here. I remember when they was comparing this person to Jesus. I remember. So, yeah. He gonna end up in hell too. But a broken clock can be right 2 times a day.
The number one offender type is biological fathers. But by far, it is being done by middle-aged Caucasian men.
Damn! I'm sorry.
Many, over half of them, college graduates. Many of them are educated, good jobs. This isn't just who we're thinking about. Like, they're technical savvy. And I think that it is time that we call them out. Like, that we can't stand by and stand back. Like, we have to stand up and say, not only are we not doing our job as men, it's actually the opposite. Instead of being defenders and protectors of our families, we're hurting and abusing. The number one offender type is biological fathers. But by far, it is being done by middle-aged Caucasian men. Many, over half of them, college graduates. Many of them are educated, good jobs. This isn't just who we're thinking about. Like, they're technical savvy.
Who are you thinking about? Are you thinking about your redneck ass paw? Go on, say it, Tim Tebow. Go on, say it. Your redneck ass grandpappy paw, who was married to his sister, who was also screwing goats. Go on, say it. Your redneck ass paw with the missing teeth and talk like this. Him. Go on, say it.
And I think that it is time that we call them out. Like, that we can't stand by and stand back. Like, we have to stand up and say, not only are we not doing our job as men, it's actually the opposite. Instead of being defenders and protectors of our families, we're hurting and abusing.
To me, it's like you can't even say who the other one is, who it is predominantly. Cause yeah, it's them educated ones too, and they be perverts. But you can't even address your own grandpapa with the missing teeth in his mouth that married his sister and was screwing goats. You can't even address him. So I'll keep calling them out. But thanks anyway. See, and this is another reason why I'm doing this Happy White History Month, for this mutt-ass bitch at the top of the screen. This wannabe black. You not wannabe black. You a wannabe Italian. The original Italians was black, baby. Did you know that? Sicily was even ruled by North Africans. Bet you they didn't teach you that. Look up Alessandro de Medici with your goat hair having ass. You Italians, see, I'm talking to you. you Italians joined up with the Irish, and many times you looted black neighborhoods, and you came over here and you were so oppressed, right? That's why I'm doing this, to set bitches like this straight. This dog face looking ass bitch with her dog hair. Let's see what the stupid hoe got to say. You a stupid hoe. You a stupid hoe. Fake ass Italian. The original Italians was dark skinned, bitch. You a mutt. Don't forget that.
Black people were not the only ones discriminated against in America. I know they'd like you to believe that they were, but they're not, right? I, as an Italian American, when Italians came over here, we were heavily discriminated against. We were shoved into ghettos. We weren't allowed to work certain jobs. We were looked down upon because of where we came from, right?
Already, this dog face hussy done said a bunch of lies. And I'm saying it in a way because I hope one day, I hope one of my prayers is that this dog face bitch see this video. Bitch, I've been reading about your people. Yeah, your people came over here. Your people was indentured servants, you mud ass hoe. What don't you get about that? Old dog ass gremlin looking face ass bitch. You burn in the sun too, ho. Looking like a fake ass Lydia from Beetlejuice. Bitch, your people had the choice to bring they stank ass over here. Slut ass bitch. And this is exactly how I would talk to her. Your people had the choice to come over here. Black people didn't have a choice. I don't know what your dumb learning disability ass having ass don't get about that. You must have a learning disability. To say that, your people had a choice. They signed up. They signed up to take that boat ride over here. They signed up, and there was no evidence that they were crammed into boats like black people was. There's no evidence of that. They weren't put in chains, bitch. How dare you? Your ugly ass. And the men on the bottom really think that these little stank ass degenerate mutants, because that's what the bitch is. She's a degenerate mutant. It's really pretty. It's really something. This is a fake ass Audie's version of Lydia. You're a white girl. You're not Italian. You're white. You come from the caves. Just like your people. Don't ever forget, bitch. Black people ruled Italy. Black people ruled Europe during the Dark Ages. You need to go do your research, dumb hoe. Y'all was not put in boats, crammed into boats like black people. And throughout this Happy White History Month, there are certain race riots that I have read, that I talked about your people, and talked about how your people grouped up with Irish to go into black neighborhoods because y'all was mad because black people was migrating up north, and the big thing back in the day was coal mining. Coal mining. A lot of Italians was coal miners. A lot of Irish were coal miners. And y'all would get mad because the people who would be controlling everything, y'all people would go on strike. And then that's when they would bring black people up to work in the mines. And instead of taking y'all anger out on the people that's controlling the project, nah, you bitch ass people will take your anger out on black people. So yeah, shut that shit up, ho. And bitch, and the reason why I'm talking to this bitch like this, because the first words out of her mouth, why does it have to be Why does it have to be, well, black people weren't the only people that were discriminated against? No, bitch. We wasn't discriminated against, you dumb fake ass olive oil fake looking ass bitch. We wasn't discriminated against. We were not even counted as human. That's how I gotta talk to dumb hoes like this. That's how I gotta talk to them. Cause this bitch has a learning disability. She doesn't know the difference between discrimination and slavery and not being counted as human. You dumb Irish, y'all was still counted. You dumb Italians, y'all was still counted as human. They might have treated you bad. They might have played you to the point where, even some of y'all didn't get y'all land. But at least there was a thought. At least there was a thought that when you got over here, you could work your way to freedom. At least it was a thought. We knew that there was no freedom, and our children was born into slavery. We didn't get a choice. So for you to talk about black people wasn't the only people that was discriminated, fuck you, bitch. She said, when Italians came over here, we were heavily discriminated. But you made it over here, right? What about all the black people that didn't even make it over here? Because the conditions were so poor that many of them died. They would just dump the bodies over. The sharks, it was so bad that the sharks rechanged their routes to follow the boats. That's how bad this was. It had an impact on the earth, the physical earth. I don't hear about no Italians being treated like that. Stupid hoe. You a stupid hoe. That's what you are. Then the bitch said we were shoved into ghettos. Bitch, try being shoved into a plantation or a shack. Try being shoved into one of them. Or better yet, what about if they drag your little stank ass by your straw goat hair out from a hut and then throw you over a log and chain you down and then rape you? Yeah, y'all wasn't going through that, was you? No, see you little fake ass olive oil looking ass bitch. Your women wasn't being hung. Your women wasn't being tortured, shot, riddled with bullets, then hung. Then the baby was cut out of her. And then the baby fell to the ground and they stomped on the baby's head. Rest in peace, Mary Turner. Google it, dumb hoe. That's what you need to do. I'm sick and tired of you Italians and you Irish. I'm sick of y'all trying to compare your weak ass atrocities to what black people went through. Bitch, you should have not came over here. You had the choice. You could have stayed over in Europe and died from the bubonic plague like you should have. And then the bitch gonna say, we weren't allowed to work certain jobs. Bitch, that's all fine and dandy. But the jobs you did get, you turned around and then you looted, rioted, killed, murdered, pillaged black people's neighborhoods and black people to prevent them from getting jobs. You and the Irish, y'all was grouped, well, the Irish mostly, came down in the Cincinnati, Ohio riots down by the riverbank. Look it up. Y'all not innocent. Fuck ass bitch. She said, and the Irish came over here, they were indentured servants, right? So that means that you are a dumb, goat hair having ass bitch. You don't even know the difference between indentured servants and slavery. But I've already read that to you, and I'm so glad that I've already given the full definition on what an indentured servant is. Then she goes on to say, every one of those groups were able to figure it out. As if, yeah, you were able to figure it out because the ruling class, the upper class of white folks, adopted you Irish and you Italians in. That's how you got it figured it out. That's how you got it figured out. And I have that numbered. How the whites became Italians. But I got something for this little fake ass Lydia looking bitch. And I pray, man, I pray that one day that she see this video and know I meant every word I said to your fake, ugly, plucked chicken, shaved bird, fake ass olive oil, remedial, ugly ass hair. Bitch, the nails are cheap. You look cheap. Go burn in the sun, ho. But I got something for you. Oh, because you know I come with the receipts. The 1895 Spring Valley riot was a violent, racially charged conflict in Illinois triggered when white, largely Italian, largely Italian, coal miners attacked Black American laborers and their families following an alleged assault. So that means that your precious punk ass Italian men was beating on women, black women. That's what that means. Fuck ass hoe. Fake ass olive oil ass bitch. Following an alleged assault, the incident, driven by labor tensions and intense anti-black sentiment, led to widespread violence, with rioters targeting black residents and forcing them out of the mining town. What you got to say about that? The same shit that you complaining about is the same shit that your people did to black people. Stupid bitch. The conflict began with workers marching to the home of manager S.M. Dalzell to demand the firing of black American miners, following a reported and likely unfounded attack on an Italian man by 5 black men. Spring Valley was a northern Illinois coal mining town with a diverse immigrant-heavy population. The riot highlighted intense racial, ethnic, and class tensions in the area. The violence and subsequent threats led to a major effort by black residents to organize in self-defense, including a call for a state convention in Springfield in September 1895. So, bitch, your people ain't innocent. Yeah, and I know about the 1891 New Orleans lynchings. You used to work alongside with us, but the problem is, you fake ass olive oil, y'all was the ones that switched up. Y'all, I don't give a fuck however you want to look at it. You Irish and you Italians, y'all switched up on us. It was us that was the most discriminated against. But then when the upper white elite wanted to bring y'all in, y'all said, fuck us. And y'all went right on ahead with y'all fake asses. But then you want to sit up here and talk all this shit. Y'all fake as fuck. You used to be right with us. But then when you got selected, oh, now you don't know us no more. And then you turned around and y'all would link up together and fucking come into our communities and rob us and loot us. Fuck y'all. Just like y'all already said fuck us a long time ago. Oh, and I ain't forgot about you goddamn Asians. I ain't forgot about y'all. Yeah, let's take a look real quick. Let's take a look. You used to be a prestigious people. You used to be. You used to be a prestigious people. But you came over here and you got in a bed with a harlot.
In the South have such a low social status that you simply can't be seen in public with them and still expect to have any respect.
And that's so crazy because the original Chinese, the original they were black, dark skin. You see, when some of you look at him, this man looked dark skinned. Yeah, you could tell he Asian. But y'all didn't get to Liu Kang's color on the previous screen. Y'all didn't get to Liu Kang's color until them white folks came and started mingling with you. You come from Japheth. You were dark skinned at one point in time as well.
To help him try to go get go to barber shop. That's how the American barber know he not the full-blood Chinese. They say don't cut no nigga hair. They put out with that.
The civil rights movement helped the Chinese to attain certain status among the white world, more or less.
Did you hear what he said? See, y'all complicit too. Y'all complicit. Y'all was able to come over here because of black people in the civil rights movement. And then you turn around and try to shit on us. But the joke's gonna be on you in the end, because y'all think after all of this like stuff was happening with America and y'all gonna catch it too. Y'all gonna catch it too. Cause you wanna be just like America. Well, you gonna get your wish.
Whereas we didn't have anything gained in the black world because they didn't have nothing for us to step into. Well, you know, we didn't.
You trying to be slick, but see, you slanted-eyed ass. Ching tong, ching tong, ching tong. Ching tong, ching tong. Fuck ass bitch. What we had for you to step into was the civil rights. That's how you was able to get your ching chong ping pong ass over here. Mushu. Don't ever forget. If it wouldn't have been for Crouching Tiger, Hidden Nigga. Yeah, that's right. I said Crouching Tiger, Hidden Nigga. Buddha was black. To let you know. Buddha was black. You see them little dots on the head? That ain't no do-rag. That ain't no, that's woolly kinky hair. And that's why most of the time he's depicted, especially in the ancient, he's depicted as black. Your martial arts came from black people. I already did a story on it. Bitch, your kimonos, your yukatas, that come from us. Y'all always been followers.
March. Is that what you mean? Why didn't we get out and march? And well, I guess the best answer is that I'm a coward.
And he said it with a smile on his face. He said it with a smile on his face. But I'm glad he know. I'm glad that you know you a coward. I'm glad that you know. At least you know. His ancestors are turning over in their graves. This man right here is a disgrace. Y'all are a disgrace to y'all ancestors too. You were a prestigious people. You were. I guess that changed when the red light district section came, huh? But at least he know he's a coward.
Every time I find out something messed up about America, it'd be like, hold my beer. Listen to this. A viewer sent me this. Her name is Brittany. She works long-term care in an Ohio facility. And she told me about a patient named Thomas. Now, before his alcohol-induced dementia, he was a well-known medical researcher. But by the time she met him, he was just a quiet resident. Dinner at 6, TV at 9:30, lights out at 9:45. Every night. No family, no friends ever came to visit, not once, but one night, something changed. When she walked past the room, she saw shadows moving inside the room, and not normal shadows. They looked thick, heavy, like smoke, but a little bit darker. So she opened up the door expecting to see chaos, and the room was brightly lit, and Thomas, was just sitting at the foot of the bed. She went to go help him into the bed, and instead of him saying his usual nonsense like pit bulls like to wear Jordans in the wintertime, he looked right at her and said, "Do you know how much radiation a person can take before they go mad?" And then he laughed. "I do." Britt felt her stomach drop. So she backed out of that room and she shut the door. But before the door could fully shut, she heard a voice that was not Thomas. It was low, raspy, and a little cold. And it said, he was the kind of researcher who uses humans like lab rats. She did not go back into that room. The next night when she comes to work, his call light goes off at 9 p.m., a lot earlier than usual. She walks into the room and she finds Thomas sitting in his chair, head tilted back, eyes wide with a look of fear frozen on his face, and he was not breathing. But the room wasn't silent. She said that she could hear dozens of voices whispering together like a chant. Cincinnati incident. So later on, she asked someone what that meant, and she almost instantly regretted. Between 1960 and 1971, at Cincinnati General Hospital, 88 poor, mostly black people were taken into the hospital basement, and they were told that they would be receiving cutting-edge experimental cancer treatment. But the truth was much darker. The Pentagon funded the experiment to see how much radiation a soldier could take during nuclear war. These patients were blasted with 250 rads of total body radiation, and it didn't cure their cancer. Instead, it caused extreme nausea, mental confusion, radiation sickness, and many of them, it caused an incredibly painful death. Most of the doctors went on to have prestigious careers, and the victims from the family didn't even receive compensation or an apology for almost 30 years. That's when she realized something. Sometimes the shadows in the hospital rooms aren't ghosts. They are the people who we were never told about.
Hey to that little Italian girl, the little wannabe fake Italian girl. You know, I call her the fake ass Olive Oil, fake ass Lydia, the one who I was just going in. Can you find some Italians that went through this? Can you find some Italians that went through this? Oh, you want to know why? Because you Italians and you Irish was seen as white people. That's why you didn't go. But you wasn't always seen as white people. You do know that, right? Right. Fuck out of here. Then y'all turn around and join with them to do fuck shit against us. And no, I'm not saying that this had nothing to do with no Italians. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying, can we find some Irish and Italians that went through this? Probably not. No, new report reveals 70 suspected modern lynchings in the Deep South. The research draws inspiration from Ida B. Wells' 1895 anti-lynching investigation, a red record. A new report says more than 70 suspected modern-day lynchings have occurred across 7 southern states since 2000, challenging the long-held belief that lynchings ended decades ago. The report, titled A Crimson Record, was produced by the civil rights organization Justice for Julius Action Network, often referred to as Julian. researchers examined cases between 2000 and 2025 in Texas, Mississippi, Georgia, Louisiana, Florida, Tennessee, and Alabama. According to the report, investigators identified more than 70 suspected modern-day lynchings in those 7 states, with Mississippi recording the highest number at 20 cases. The study reviewed deaths involving victims from marginalized communities and examined whether the circumstances surrounding those deaths reflected patterns historically associated with racial terror violence. And for all you crackles that, do they have any names? I've already read at least 26 of them. At least it was either on my last video or the video before that one. I talked about some of them. So the research draws inspiration from Ida B. Wells' 1895 anti-lynching investigation, A Red Record. By referencing Wells' work, the authors argue that racial violence... Man, this is the world we live in now. We cannot get away from advertisements. It's like, Lord. Look, since you need names and stuff like that, here they go. But you know what? See, this is why, yes, this is about Happy White History Month, but at the same point in time, I also recognize that I'm dealing with a group of people that they move the goalposts. So first, when I start, is there any names? Then when you give them names and situations and stuff like that, that still ain't good enough. Now they'll move the goalpost as if someone has to prove something to these cave-dwelling Neanderthal ass bastards that only stay in their child's lives to rape them. I mean, that's what we see, 57%, right? Predators. Nobody has to prove anything to you. Nobody is here to prove anything. We're gathering information and putting it together to do a background check on the white man. Shout out to Watchmen and Deborah Yah. They have a documentary called White It Out. I dare you to go watch it. White It Out. So yeah, it's still happening. But just like how you cowards get on these social media pages and you hide behind these fake profiles using fake pictures, using memes, so you can go around and say what you have to say because you really a coward. You can't say what you have to say. Using your own face, using your own image. Well, your racism, your lynchings have took the same route. Now they hide and they try to be covert or discreet about it. But no, we still know you're doing it. And they working together with the states, with the state departments of each of these states. They working together. That's why they rule them as suicides. Bodies don't even be cold. They ready to rule it as a suicide. So they don't have to face the fact that lynchings are still going on in this country in 2025, 2026 even, because they just found a body not too long ago. So, yeah, ain't shit changed. The numbers might have decreased, but this is still happening. Hey, Captain Stubby.
Hey guys, I'm here in DC trying to speak out against the Senate and ask them why they're going to send our men and women to harm's way when our elected officials said that there would be no war.
Why are you asking why? Don't you know your place? Your place is to stand there in that army and do what that shitty booty diaper wearing pedophile says. The one that you voted in. Why you sitting up here talking, boy? Huh? You the bitch of that shitty booty diaper. As sunburnt, degenerate Neanderthal that you voted in as a president. Now you do his bidding. And his bidding is doing the bidding for an imposter state. So what you question, that's what you voted in. What you questioning it for? Stupid ass bastard. And you got your arm broke in the process. What a dummy.
Anybody who feels disillusioned and betrayed by our government, you're not alone.
Well, good. Because we've been disillusioned and betrayed by crack-ass cave dwellers that look like you. Even before we got to this motherfucker. So now it's your turn to feel disillusioned. Welcome to the club. Captain Stubby. Captain Kirk. You know you like it.
Join us in demanding accountability for this betrayal. Free Palestine, free America. Let's go.
A few moments later.
No one wants to fight for Israel!
His hand! Oh! His hand!
Oh my God!
Let go of your hand. Let go of the door.
The senator broke his hand. A sitting U.S. senator just broke the hand of a...
Well, I think they got the message.
Like I told y'all before, we do not commit the most crimes. That's propaganda. We get convicted more.
A lot of white people believe that black people commit more crimes, but the truth is that black people are convicted of more crimes. Look at crack versus cocaine. Crack gets you way more time, even though cocaine is literally the purer form of the drug. More black people get busted for crack than pure cocaine, and more white people get busted with pure cocaine than crack. And this isn't an accident. Back in the Nixon administration, his domestic advisor even admitted to wanting to disrupt black communities by heavily criminalizing drugs associated with those communities. This was always about control, never about crime. The same system that used slave patrols to catch runaway slaves merely evolved into modern policing and mass incarceration. This is the system working as intended, and prisons are working with corporations in order to provide them with cheap labor, essentially slave labor. And bear in mind that many inmates are non-violent drug offenders who couldn't afford better representation. Sound familiar? Does it sound systemic? We need to boycott every corporation.
Some of them aren't even that. Ask Khalif Browder. Ask Khalif Browder. Some of them wasn't even that. Some of them didn't even make it to the prison house. Shouldn't have had to, in the case of a young Tamir Rice.
Profit from mass incarceration and take the money out of prisons.
I'm glad.
Oh, guess who else told you that?
Me. He brought that up because it's been proven that the CIA was in fact behind the crack epidemic. They're the ones who brought it to our communities. They brought the drugs, they brought the guns, they took the jobs. We didn't know it back then, but we know it now. It's always been a systemic setup for us to fail. They wanted to kill us off, but we just won't die. But now that we know what's going on and who's behind it, it's up to us to change our mind and change our circumstances.
We can change our mind. We can change our, which is something else that I'm going to go into when I do the black video. I'm going to go in. We can change our mind. We could do everything that Dr. Boyce and Dr. Claude, and like Killer Mike. I wish I wish I had magic powers just for like 6 months. 6 months. maybe a year, just a year. And the first thing I would do, I would gather our men like Dr. Claude Anderson, Dr. Boyce. I would gather them together, and then I would have a meeting with them, and I would tell them my plans. My plans is to create another black Wall Street, right? And so, because I have magic powers, it'll come to pass. Let's just say it come to pass. Within a year, there will be a modern Tulsa. There will be a modern Tulsa. I would even go forward to even say they would drop bombs again. I would put my money on it. And then when that happens, I will have a meeting with these men, and the only words that would come out of my mouth would be, now what? Because sometimes y'all make it seem as if we can't come together and do another Black Wall Street. Oh, we can. But that's another reason why I'm doing this Happy White History Month. Maybe Dr. Claude Anderson or Dr. Boyce Watkins catch my work, and maybe they'll come to the same conclusion. Yes, we can do that. We could do another Black Wall Street. We could. But what are we going to do when the government decides that they want to drop bombs on us again? What we going to do at that point? What we going to do then? How do I know? How do I know that it will happen? Because there is no new thing under the sun. And history has a tendency of repeating itself. Living amongst these people is like being in an abusive marriage with a narcissist. And the white people are the narcissist, the abuser. See, they do stuff to try to make us jealous, right? Like, for instance, like, y'all remember when some of y'all people decided they was going to come together and do that all white city? What happened to it? What happened to it? I was so ready to put it on the list. Oh, it dissolved because black folk, we didn't give a fuck. See, the energy wasn't there for us to get mad and say, oh, why are they discriminating against us? No, see, they got the shock of their life when they came out with that announcement, and we said, oh, okay. They got the shock of their life. Remember that scene? On Jim Carrey's movie, Ace Ventura, when he was in that monk temple, and he told them that he was leaving, and bitch, they threw that party, and the monk was in his goddamn underwear. That's how happy they was that he was leaving. That's the same sentiment for black people. When we saw that announcement, that's what we did in private amongst each other. We had the biggest celebration because we was happy to see a cracker, spoiled jar of mayo looking ass go. We was happy. We was very much so happy. You gonna take your Irish and Italians with you? Oh, I guess the jig is up for them, huh? They're no longer white. Oh, okay. Yeah, because you see, they didn't include you motherfuckers. Nah, shit, we was happy to see your ass go. We even wanted to sign up. Y'all need supplies? So we can send y'all on y'all way. We wasn't going to give y'all no supplies. Because we knew, black folk knew that y'all want to treat us like we're dumb, like we don't know you too. We know you too, white folk, even if you think we are dumb. We have lived amongst each other now for how long? Eventually, you going to get to know each other. Maybe not in the best way, but you do get to know certain things about the people you live around. Okay? And one thing that we recognize about y'all try to do shit out of spite to make us jealous. But we could never be jealous of you because you are nothing to us. You are nothing. The sun does not even agree with you people. Okay? I just played a video of a ashy, nasty man, all sunburnt. He was even telling you, I guess other people don't come from here. He looked like an old drunk white man out on the beach, just all sunburnt and stuff. Y'all say y'all built the pyramids. The sun disagrees. The sun disagrees. We disagree, but also the earth disagrees too. The sun disagrees. The walls of the pyramid disagrees. Everything disagrees with you, not just us. Even the lions don't want to eat y'all because you don't even taste good. Like, no. But yes, y'all came out with y'all announcement. Y'all was gonna do that all white town. And then y'all got the shock of y'all life when y'all seen that we didn't give a fuck. It fell flat on them. You want to know why? Because they couldn't thrive like the energy gremlin looking ass vampires that they are. They could not thrive off of our energy because there was no energy to give because we gave no fucks. That's why their project fell flat. A lot of people didn't catch that. A lot of people did not catch that. But the empaths of our people caught it because I know Lovely T, she caught that too. She caught it as well. They didn't have our energy. They didn't have our fear. You hear it in all these little, stories and stuff. The boogeyman and Freddy Krueger and all of it. It lives off of energy. Because there was no energy for them to feed off of. It was. That's what happened. But you hear me when I tell you this. You hear me. The day, baby, the day that we say we are going to form another Black Wall Street, we are going to form another Black town, we're going to open up a bank, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and we actually go and do it, baby, I'm telling you, start counting it down. Because that's the day that them same people, you see them all in the social media comments, laughing and stuff like that, that's going to be the day that they get furious. They get furious. You want to know how I know? I'm going to show you how I know. In spite of all the race riots that I've been reading to you, in spite of, there's one video that I like to use to show this. I love this video. I love this content creator. Listen. This right here, this exposes it right here. Look.
Brand spanking new Lexus SUV. How is that possible? Integrate into the same neighborhood that I worked my entire life to get into. I don't know.
That's not even true. That's not true. You didn't work your entire life. You didn't work hard. You a cave-dwelling monkey that's a part of a system. And I don't give a fuck how hard you say you work. You ain't worked 10 times as hard as Black folk. I said it. And why are you, as another man, so worried about what the next man is getting. As if this man ain't worked. You don't know if this man is worked or not. You don't know that. I'm telling you, the couple in this video, they look like a fucking hater. You could see it. Y'all can talk all... Baby, this is Esau. Genesis 25, 27, and verse 41 specifically. The hatred. It's a perpetual hatred. Black people don't want to see it. They want to sit around. They want to ask the question, why these people hate us so much? What did we do? What? Then when they see my ass come along and I'm telling them, you need to read Genesis 25 and you need to read Genesis 27. Oh, no, that can't be it. He on that Black Hebrew Israelites. That can't be it. Well, then can you tell me, my dear? You tell me. Please tell me. Why do they then? Most of the time when I put it back on, they can't even answer. Just like when you really get down, when you really get down to and ask these white crackers, why you hate black folks so much? I know what you say with your little bullshit ass statistics and shit like that, but you're not blind. You don't even believe the statistic that black people are killing white. You know that shit ain't happening. You just saying it. So cut the bullshit. Why do you hate black people so much? I'm telling you, I've had these conversations with white people. I've had it. They cannot explain it. And then, I will never forget this one interaction that I had with this white man. We just being genuine. We said bruise before we talked. I told him, I ain't gonna cuss you out or nothing like that. Cause you're not being disrespectful. So I'm not gonna disrespect you. Let's have an honest conversation. Bring in the facts. Of course, the facts that he brought couldn't be substantiated by anything. All he had was his emotions. And I knew this. But when I start pulling out this Bible, first, how I started hitting him was showing him, because everybody love the money. Everybody love money. I don't care if you're Asian, black, white, green. I don't care. Everybody love money. And if you believe in the Bible, you definitely gonna want to hear about how tithes is not money and how tithes is food. That's how I got him. Then I said, now, I don't, your pastor, you probably heard this. Oh, the law is done away with. The law is done. Took him through all the, showing him if the law is done away with. Well, why Matthew 5:17 through 19 says this right here? If the law is done away with, then why is Paul taking the vow of a Nazarite in Acts 18 and 18? Look, read a few scriptures down. Paul is going to celebrate a feast. So I had him. Had him by that point. Then that's when I took him and I said, I'm going to show you the reason why you feel the way you feel towards black people. I'm going to let this play though first.
Brand spanking new Lexus SUV. How is that possible? Integrate into the same neighborhood that I worked my entire life to get into. I don't understand it. Here's this guy right here in this brand new Lexus.
There he is,
right there.
That guy right there, that's a Haitian guy.
Yeah, that's an immigrant.
That's an immigrant with a $100,000 Lexus.
Yeah. Brand spanking new.
And you're an immigrant too. And you don't got one. And you've been here longer than him. But you an immigrant too. And that's the harsh truth that this person does not want to accept. You're an immigrant too. Actually, you're an illegal alien. Because your people never paid for this land. You broke over 500 treaties. Did cowardly demonic Damn, how you a coward and demonic at the same time? By giving natives blankets with smallpox on it. That's some coward shit. Evil, sneaky, demonic. You never paid for this land. So you're an illegal alien. In fact, you're squatters. And you bought people here, over here. You're squatters. But they don't want to see that. Maybe that's a curse. Maybe you have worked hard, right? Maybe the reason why you're not where you at is because it's a curse from the Most High. Look, I've been fumbling around with this Bible app, right? And it don't want to open. It don't want to, I'm going to just show you. Let's see what happens. Look, they don't want to open. They don't want to open. They don't want me to tell you this. I ain't did nothing. It don't want to open. So I had to pull it up on the internet because Satan thought that he was going to stop me, or whatever force thought that they was going to stop me. Nah, you're not. Genesis 25. And the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. And after that, his brother came out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel. See, and when you read 2nd Esdras 6 and 9, that means something. And his name was called Jacob, and Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them. One moment. 2nd Esdras 6 verse 9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. That's why they was born like that. Oh, I'm sorry. See, but look. Verse 22. And the children struggled together within her. And she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels, and one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. That's a key part right there. And the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. And after that came his brother out, and his hand took on hold Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. You know why Jacob wasn't described? Because Jacob looked like everybody else. Jacob was dark. He looked like his mama and his daddy, who was dark. Esau was the only one that looked different. That's why he was described, and Jacob wasn't. Okay, let's go to... Now, white folk, nobody can beat you in hunting. Nobody. The downside to that is when you decide you want to hunt Negroes. But the other part, and I don't like how y'all shoot these bears and these lions, and y'all gonna pay for that though. Y'all gonna pay for that for your crimes against the earth. You poachers, and how you do the elephants, and and our people gonna pay for that too, because it's happening over in Africa. But y'all gonna pay for that. But look, 27. And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents. So when you think of Esau, think of how Steve Irwin, how he liked to be with the animals, and that guy that be swimming in those rivers looking for river monsters and stuff. That's Esau, classic Esau. The Duck Dynasty hunters. That's Esau. Nobody can hunt better than Esau. That's why Isaac loved him so much, because he was the one that got the food. He was the one that brought the food home. And see, you really need to read up on your progenitor, because Esau wasn't no joke. Esau was no joke. He got into a battle with Nebuchadnezzar. I believe that is who. Yeah, it was. I think it was Nebuchadnezzar. And he slayed him and 2 of his men. You can read about that in the book of Jasher and the book of Jubilees. It's in one of those 2. And that's important for you to know, because as we continue on, look. Oh, so when you think of Esau, think of like them Duck Dynasty. You white men y'all so talented when it comes to hunting. Y'all know how to hunt the turkeys. Y'all come up with decoys. Y'all take the female deer piss and, throw it over you so it can attract the big male bucks so they can come right up to you and you shoot them. That's y'all shit. Excuse me. Scripture is out, but that's y'all. That's something to be proud of. Nobody is better than white people when it comes to hunting. Like, they have really, I guess I still give y'all flowers, but, this is, before this, there was no white folk on the earth. Everybody was black, dark skin. Not, black like Negro black, but everybody was dark skin, had melanin. So they was hunting before you, unfortunately. And slavery was before you too. And God did not invent slavery. A lot of people like to think that, but that's not true. God stepped in and regulated a system that was already in place, put in place by evil humans, that were dark skinned, that were not white. Keeping it real. But also the form of slavery wasn't the same either. So it wasn't the same. And so when you think of Esau, think of them, hunters and stuff like that. But Jacob is kind of like Craig from Friday. Plain man, dwelling in the tents, dwelling in the home. And Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of his venison. See? Because Esau brought the food home. But the mom loved Jacob because the Most High already told her that blessing. And Jacob's side pottage and Esau came from the field. So this is the part that I was telling you about. See, what they don't tell you is that Esau had just came from battling. I think it was Nebuchadnezzar he was battling. He had just came from battling those 3 dudes that I was just talking about. And this is why he was faint. That's why he came in. Notice that, and Esau came from the field. The field is battle. Battle. When it's talking about a man of the field because of y'all weapons. Look at the United States weaponry today. The gun. Who created that? Esau. And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore, his name is called Edom. And Jacob said, see right here, Jacob said, sell me this day thy birthright. And Esau said, behold, I am at the point to die, because he thought he was going to die. What profit shall this birthright do to me? Because he didn't care. He didn't care. You know how most white folk do not care about God and Christ on the same level as black folk. Even though both of us is wrong, we still know who's the most holy out of the 2. And it's not white folk. And Jacob said, swear to me this day. And he sware unto him. And he sold his birthright unto Jacob. Now remember that. Remember that. Look, it even says it right here. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils. And he did eat and drink and rose up and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright. See, because at this time, right? At this time, he didn't know, Esau didn't know that the birthright, nor did he care, that the birthright came with ruling when Christ makes his second return, the 1,000-year reign, that's what Jacob is going to inherit, the 12 tribes of Israel. That's what Esau gave up. He gave it up. Okay, now we on Genesis 27, right? It's Isaac. And he said, behold, now I am old, I know not the day of my death. So he sent Esau to, go out to the field and get him something to eat and make me savory meat, such as I love, see? And that my soul may bless thee before I die. Now the mama heard when Isaac spake to Esau his son, and Esau went to the field to hunt for venison and to bring it. Look, and Rebekah spake unto Jacob her son, saying, behold, I heard thy father speak unto Esau thy brother, saying, bring me venison and make me savory meat, that I may eat and bless thee before the Lord before my death. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice according to that which I command thee. Go now to the flock and fetch me from thence 2 good kids of goats, and I will make them savory meat for thy father, such as he loveth. And thou shalt bring it to thy father, that he may eat, and that he may bless thee before his death. And Jacob said to Rebekah his mother, behold, Esau, my brother, is a hairy man, and I am a smooth man. See the difference? My father peradventure will feel me, and I shall seem to him as a deceiver, and I shall bring a curse upon me, and not a blessing. And his mother said unto him, upon me be thy curse, my son. Only obey my voice, and go fetch me them. And he went and fetched and brought them to his mother, and his mother made savory meat, such as his father loved. And Rebekah took goodly raiment of her eldest son Esau, which were with her in the house, and put them upon Jacob, her younger son. And she put the skins of the kids of the goats upon his hands and upon the smooth of his neck. And she gave the savory meat and the bread which she had prepared into the hand of her son Jacob. And he came unto his father and said, my father. And he said, here am I, who art thou, my son? And Jacob said unto his father, I am Esau, thy firstborn. I have done according as thou badest me. Arise, I pray thee, sit and eat of my venison, that thy soul may bless me. And Isaac said unto his son, how is it that thou hast found it so quickly, my son? And he said, because the Lord thy God brought it to me. And Isaac said unto Jacob, come near, I pray thee, that I may feel thee, my son, whether thou be my very son Esau or not. And Jacob went near unto Isaac his father, and he felt him, and said, the voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau. See, because Isaac couldn't see. He was going blind. He was on his way out. And he discerned him not, because his hands were hairy as his brother's Esau's hands. So he blessed him. He said, art thou my very son Esau? And he said, I am. Notice the name of the Most High was used right there. And he said, yeah, I am. Ahia Ashar Ahia. That's the real name of the Most High. Not Yahweh. Not Jehovah. Those names all link to Jabulan. Look that up. Or you can go to my videos in the His Name Is section. I've already did the work for you. And he said, bring it to me, and I will eat of my son's venison, that my soul may bless thee. And he brought it near to him, and he did eat. And he brought him wine, and he drank. And his father Isaac said unto him, come near now, and kiss me, my son. And he came near and kissed him. And he smelled the smell of his raiment, and blessed him, and said, see, the smell of my son is as the smell of the field, which the Lord hath blessed. Therefore God give thee of the dew of heaven, and the fatness of the earth, and plenty of corn and wine, that people serve thee, and nations bow down to thee. Be Lord over thy brethren, and let thy mother's sons bow down to thee. Cursed be everyone that curseth thee, and blessed be he that blesseth thee. See, that's where they get that scripture from. Those you-ish imposters. But the crazy part about it is that they found a way to kind of quote unquote steal back their blessing. And so yeah, they're they found a way back and they stole it from us, But yeah, that's where they get that scripture from. But in the end, you gonna find out you was blessing Esau. And it came to pass, as soon as Isaac had made an end of blessing Jacob, and Jacob was yet scarce gone out from the presence of Isaac his father, that Esau his brother came in from his hunting, and he also had made savory meat, and brought it unto his father, and said unto his father, Let my father arise, and eat of his son's venison, that thy soul may bless me. See? Greedy. Just a few chapters ago. This is why, and this is, I'm telling you, this is just like that Unc and that white man. Unc is Jacob, and the white man is Esau. The smokehouse place, whatever. And I seen a video. Yeah, his restaurant is empty today. Empty. The lines ain't even long. Then to come to find out that it was Unc that talked that man into even going into food. But that's Esau. That's Esau. All the way. When Unc started getting popular and stuff, he started getting jealous. And you about to see it right here in the scriptures. You seeing it now. I just showed you. He didn't care about his birthright. Just like when Unc was, you see it had to take Unc to tell this man a few different times, you should go into cooking, you should go into cooking, you should go into cooking. He wouldn't listen to him. But then when he finally did listen to him, and Unc started getting popular, now he want to come in and make it seem like, yeah, see, it was me too. And it's like, no. But that's what's going on right here. 32. And Isaac his father said unto him, Who art thou? And he said, I am thy son, thy firstborn Esau. And Isaac trembled very exceedingly, and said, Who? Where is he that hath taken venison and brought it me? And I have eaten of all before thou camest, and have blessed him. Yea, and he shall be blessed. Because he know it. When Esau heard these words of his father, listen, he cried with a great exceeding bitter cry. That cry, y'all, that cry broke him. That was one of them deep, deep, soul-reaching cries. And you know what that meant? That was the cry that he let out to his future generations. To do all the stuff that they have done, to us throughout the years. That's what that is. He didn't care about the birthright. But now, since he ain't going to be blessed, now he ready to cry. Who that sound like, man? First, they ain't care. He didn't care until he knew how it was going to benefit him. That's white folk. And when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great and exceeding bitter cry, and said unto his father, Bless me, even me also, father. Oh, my father. Me too. Unc wasn't doing this by himself, even though he talked me into going into the business. And I would not even be here to complain if it wasn't for Unc. Who that sound like? And he said, thy brother came with subtlety and have taken away thy blessing. And he said, is not he rightly named Jacob? For he hath supplanted me these 2 times. Well, oh, now you've been supplanted 2 times. Now you've been supplanted. Who does this today? Will make you think that everything is okay. Everything is okay. Like y'all in agreement, everything. But then when some stuff happens, oh no, it was that throw you under the bus, act like they ain't had nothing to do with nothing, like they didn't agree to nothing, like he didn't eat that. He was so hungry, he didn't even wait for Jacob to cook it. It was still blood in it. But now he's been supplanted 2 times. He took away my birthright. Now he took away his birthright, right? He took away the birthright. But I just read to you where he gave it to him. Who does that sound like? That's these white people today. That's how they are. He took away my birthright, and behold, now he hath taken away my blessing. And he said, hast not thou reserved a blessing for me? And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, behold, I have made them thy lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants, and with corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son? And Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered out and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above. Meaning they will live good. And for the most part, they do live good, right? But catch this next verse. And by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. The sword, they went from swords to guns. So, here we go. Verse 41. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand, then I will slay my brother Jacob. They've been doing that, y'all, ever since. And then the other nations joined in with them. See, they couldn't do it by themselves. They needed the help of the other nations. Let me show you. Oh, now it want to work. Now it wants to work. Magically. Now it wants to work. Well, thank you anyway. Thanks. Oh, yeah, let me read this one to you. Zechariah 11, verse 5. Whose possessors slay them? Who was possessed in this land? Who was it? Not you Italians and you Irish, because you were indentured servants. See, you were counted as 5/5 of human. Who was seen as superior animals? It wasn't you Italian and Irish. So you weren't actually possessed by anyone. You had a contract. We didn't have a contract. Whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. And they that sell them say, who was sold? Blessed be the Lord, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not. How can't you see that this is talking about black people? I'm convinced. That's why I am the way I am in my videos towards black people. because I'm convinced you don't want to see it. You can see everything about Candy and Todd. You can see everything about the Real Housewives. You knew Nene was coming back. You knew Portia and that man wasn't gonna make it. You know everything. You can see everything but this. That's why a lot of y'all gonna go to hell. Anyway, let's read a song. I read out 3. Keep not thou silence, O God, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God, for lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. Verse 4. Oh no, they have taken crafty counsel. Who is the they? The nations against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom, you white folk. The Ishmaelites, you Arabs. Then it lists some other nations here. Ammon is Jordan, and Moab is Palestine. Amalek is Esau. That's one of Esau's descendants. See? That's how we got here. Deuteronomy 28, 15 through 68. And thy heaven that is over thy head shall be brass, and the earth that is under thee shall be iron. That's the private prison system. Jail. Verse 25, when we will run as slaves. Verse 26, I think this is self-explanatory. They hung so many of us and left us. Who you think ate the bodies? The birds, the fowls of the air, and the animals. The Lord shall bring thee thy king, president, which thou shalt set over thee, unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known. And there shalt thou serve other gods, Christianity and Islam. Wood is the cross, the stone is the Kaaba stone. Thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity. I think of like Khalif Browder. He was a child at the time. Captivity don't always mean, jail. Captivity, that's, when the police showed up and did what they did to Tamir Rice, that's captivity. Trayvon Martin. (43 and 44). The stranger, the white folk, the Jewish bankers, that is within thee, shall get up above thee very high with their banks, and thou shalt come down very low. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. Redlining, predatory payday companies, This number right here, number 49, you can't get around this. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from afar, from the end of the earth. Where was the new world? As swift as the eagle flies. What country, what animal does this country use as its symbol? A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young. Oh, you mean like when they took the mothers and, cut their babies out and stomped them? Okay. How they had babies working in the cotton fields? Okay. Here go your black on black crime right here, 54, 55. HIV, sickle cell, all of that. Number 64, and the Lord shall scatter thee among all people. We've been scattered due to slavery everywhere. Number 68. Oh, okay. Because I've been talking about this. Ooh, Obadiah. You need to go read that. He said it himself. He wasn't heaven bound, not getting into heaven. And all you maggots that follow him, y'all going to the same place as him. The eagle has landed. You need to read the book of Obadiah. A nation of fierce countenance, as swift as the eagle flieth. Right? Right. Right.
This is what a mega mind is.
Brand spanking new Lexus SUV. How is that possible? Integrate into the same neighborhood that I worked my entire life to get into.
See that Esau spirit. See, listen to him talk. You gotta listen to him talk. I can't believe that motherfucker stole my birthright. That's what he's saying here. He stole my birthright. I should be driving this Lexus. I should be living in this neighborhood. Me, mine's, me. I should be doing this, not you. That's what he means by that. Genesis 25, Genesis 27. I don't know why y'all don't want to see that. But you can see everything else. So crazy. So crazy.
This is what a mega mind is.
Brand spanking new Lexus SUV. How is that possible? Integrate into the same neighborhood that I worked my entire life to get into. I don't understand.
And that's a bunch of bullshit. You could tell you're not using any logic. Your whole life is not even complete yet, sir. So how have you worked your whole life? You haven't worked your whole life. Your life is not even complete.
Here's this guy right here in his brand new Lexus.
There he is,
There he is, right there. That guy right there.
It's what Make America Great Again has always meant to certain people. It's never been about patriotism. It's always been about hierarchy, about making sure black people stay in a place that makes them comfortable. Because let's be honest, imagine living in a country where 400 years you receive every privilege available. Free labor for almost 2 centuries, millions of acres of free land through the Homestead Act, government assistance when black folks were excluded, white veterans received GI Bills and sent them to college when black veterans who served the country faithfully did not, white home ownership through FHA loans that black people didn't get while black families were redlined into poverty. There was affirmative action for white folks long before the phrase was ever even created. Let me name a few more.
tax benefits, union protections, government contracts, Social Security programs that originally excluded black labor, corporate subsidies, banking systems built on predatory denial of black access, policing designed to guard white prosperity, and the unspoken privilege of always being seen and deserving, and all that for generations. And yet here we are, after everything designed to hold us back, we still here. It makes them a failure. We're still educating ourselves, still building businesses. It makes them a failure. Still growing wealth, still buying homes, still pulling up in our Lexuses. That makes them a failure. We still thrive in the ways this country has never planned for us to thrive, and it makes them feel like failures. Because that's what they are. That's why it bothers them, because to them, our success is what it is. It makes them failures. They feel better when they can look down on us. They feel safer when we have to struggle. They feel whole when we are broken. So when they say make America great again, what they are really saying is let's go back and reset the hierarchy. Let's put them back in their place, which is beneath us. Let's strip away any progress that they've made. Let's take away all their rights, all their opportunities, all the wins that make them feel equal. Because for us to feel equal, it makes them feel like failures. Because they've had every advancement known to man, and yet here we are, and that's why our excellence is so powerful, y'all. Because every time we disrupt the narrative they depended on for 400 years, every time we win and we break the system that was never designed for us to succeed, every time we shine, we expose the weakness of a structure built on stolen labor, stolen land, and stolen wealth. It's their failure. This is why our success is revolutionary. It's not just about your car, your house, or your lifestyle. It's a reminder that despite every barrier placed in our way, we still here, thriving, winning, and redefining greatness in our terms. And they're still what they are. Failures. Now drop a black fist in the...
Lay their hands. Losers. I'm telling you, I love that video because it speaks so much truth. It does. But see, a lot of our people, we want to ask the question why, right? Like, why do they hate us? Why is this, But we don't want to accept the answer. Because accepting the answer means that we will have to change on our end too. And a lot of our folks don't want to do that.
I have a question that I'm really curious about. Why are black people the most hated people on the planet?
See? And this is not, like I said, this is not coming at Constance. We want to ask this question, but we do not want to come to terms with the answer. I tell you all the time, we want to run a Buddha, Krishna, Shiva, Muhammad, Kali. Some of y'all Beelzebub, and for you, those of you that's in the occult, we want to run to everybody, all these other entities, but we don't want to recognize the truth. We don't. And I just showed you. I just gave you a synopsis, a very good one, because usually I'm more long-winded than that when I'm describing that situation. Genesis 25 and 27, verse 41. So we don't want to see it. And then what really gets me though is I'll have all kind of people mad at me, right? Telling me, oh no, this ain't it. But then when I go to ask them, well, what is it then? Crickets. Or they come up with some bullshit ass answer. Ain't answering nothing. Just quote unquote mansplaining. And then because they know they ain't got nothing, then they want to try to resort to insulting me. And it's like, I'm not here to insult you. And I'm damn sure I ain't gonna let you insult me, but I'm really not here for that. I'm really trying to find out, since you say that it's not what I'm talking about, then what is it? And I'm telling you, oftentimes it's nothing. They can't provide they can't provide nothing. But here I am. I done took you through the scriptures and showed you this is why. showed you clear examples. I've shown secular history as well as biblical history, science. I mean, some people just ain't gonna want to believe it because they don't want to change, you know. But it's like, even then, if that's the case, then get the hell out of the way of the people that do want to change. But see, then you're gonna find out, no, they don't want the other people to change either. You know, they just want to be mad. That's it. They just want to be mad and victims. You know, you want to be a mad victim. It's the truth.
Why do they fear us, fight us, and try to erase us, but still want to dress like us, talk like us, sing like us, and move like us? To understand that, you have to understand who we are. You see, long before anybody enslaved us or renamed us, we were the blueprint of civilization. We were creating mathematics, medicine, architect, and spirituality when other nations were still in caves. We built dynasties. We built pyramids that stand stronger than the political systems built to destroy us. We created empires that influenced the world. We crafted universities that educated scholars from across the globe. So when people ask, why do they hate us? Let me tell you this.
Yes, we did create empires. You do have to understand who we are. But do you know who we are? Do you know where you're going to? Do you like the things that I am showing you?
Yes. People don't hate the weak. They fear the powerful. And our power is ancient. And then think about this, the transatlantic slave trade, the most brutal and inhumane form of slavery humanity has ever seen. It wasn't just about labor. It was about eliminating identity. It was about breaking the body and the spirit so that the world would forget who we are. But we didn't forget. We didn't fold. Even during the darkest chapters, we created new culture out of nothing.
Didn't I just read Psalms 83 to you? Do you see how? Didn't I just read Psalms 83?
Spirit so that the world would forget who we are.
Like in Psalms 83 when they came together to do so?
But we didn't forget. We didn't fold. Even during the darkest chapters, we created new culture out of nothing. Gospel, blues, jazz, hip-hop. The soundtrack of the world came from our pain, our joy, and our resilience. And after emancipation, every time we rose, this country reacted. Reconstruction, lynchings, Jim Crow, Black Wall Street burned to the ground, land stolen, policies written specifically to suppress our brilliance, mass incarceration engineered to replace bondage with bars. And through all of that, we still rose. We built businesses, we built families, and we built movement, and we built cultures. So again, why the hate? Because our resilience is unmatched, because our ability to create out of struggle is unmatched, because our influence reaches every corner of the globe. They want what we create, they just don't want to live what we live. They want our rhythm, but not our blues. They want the sauce, but not the soul that crafted it. But let me tell you,
they want their blessing back. They want their blessing back. They want their birthright back. But they gave it to us fair and square. That's what they want. You see it in situations like with Unc and that white man. That man was jealous because of Unc's popularity, natural gifts that he got from the Most High. And he was jealous. And if I can't have it, then we can't be in business. Oh, no, you ain't gonna be looking like you run me. Even though that man had no thought about going into the food business.
Who we are. We are the originators, the innovators, the heartbeat of the world. We are the survivors of the greatest atrocity in human history and the creators of the greatest cultural contributions the world has ever known. Black people, you are excellence. You are legacy. You are strength. You are the dream and the dreamers. You are the people the world studies.
You are the real Jews, too.
Envies, even when they refuse to acknowledge the truth. The hate is not about our lack. It's about our greatness, our brilliance, our power, and our influence. Of course they tried to erase us and silence us and destroy us. Yet, here we are, powerful, creative, unbreakable, and ready to build our next dynasty. And when we unite, when we truly heal and recognize our greatness, game over for everybody else. Now drop a black fist in the comments and
Originally sounds.
Black nowadays.
What's up, y'all?
Everyone.
Now Southside community, yeah, roots, young culture. That's how we connect to Mother Nature. Here they cut in a gaya vangi kudutha anjuli kidu engine ki vambu pannala arki na solluradhe ve kodutha anben.
They try to copy all my lifestyle.他们思维不太清楚，想在我身上拿到解药。虽然长时间我一直在演 nobody， 现在他们 know my name，know my name， 现在他们 know my name，know my name， 现在他们 know my name，they know my name， 现在他们 know my name，know my
Look at this. But earlier, you see that slanted-eyed bastard said, oh, they have no cult. They had nothing for us to step into. Shit, I can't tell. I can't tell. He over here want to sound like Chris Brown so bad. I can't tell, China.
So hard, turning bad into stripper club. 2 phone in my pocket, I'm so lucky I get famous.
Oh yo, the streets ain't got no love, no matter what you do.
Where's the African drums and the you over here sounding too American. So I guess we see that you like stepping into our culture too, huh? Cause y'all be swearing up and down we have no culture. But then we look over and we see you know what? I don't care because he's Nigerian. So we the same people. But y'all be having all this smoke talking about some, mad because some white folks labeled y'all African booty scratchers and we laughed. Now y'all mad. Fuck out of here.
Type of woman deserve good things. It's full of diamonds, head full of rain. Baby, you're a star. I just wanna show you you are. You should let me love. Girl, you keep killing it. Hottest better in the VIP, and no matter who you with, you get 10 circles of work. Who you should win in the work? Pretty girl, you super good.
Your next stop, baby, let's get it now. Earth day's my day one, brother. Trendsetter, I'm a friend better. 시상해줄 정도의 공익계로 결국 네가 원하는 대로 되지 않았지 바른 거 달리 너무 잘 살아내는 내 뜻대로 너는 한남대로 무게만 탄탄대로.
So hard, turning bad into stripper club. 2 phone in my pocket, I'm so lucky I get famous.
Started with changing my gender.
That's the real crouching tiger hidden nigga.
Then graduated to your racist if you think that your life matters and your skin don't have melanin. They don't want.
Uh-oh. Enters Esau with his old cave-dwelling ass. I don't even be caring about them Asians or, because the only 2 main races in this country that matter for real, is black folk and white folk. The other races matter too. Don't get me wrong. I'm sorry. I'm not saying it like y'all don't matter, but we see who's been battling the longest here. It ain't been Mexicans and white folk. Nah, y'all feel like y'all got a proximity to them. Nah, it's been Jacob and Esau. That's been the 2 battle opponents.
By skin, we judge by soul. So God can judge your sin.
This fat ass, hoggish, greedy looking mother. Where's Captain Planet when you need him?
But bitch, you gotta go.
Man, look who with him. The token nigga. Man. When we do unite, anybody, yeah, my sentiments exactly. Bitch, you gotta go. And I ain't talking to that white man. I'm talking to you niggas that be standing right here beside them. It's always a black hand that helps them assimilate our culture. The wingman. The one who signed off on it. All in the videos. Looking like a house nigga. When black finally do unite, you niggas that's like this, and I ain't talking about like, cause there is a black dude and a white dude, right? They came up with this joke. The white dude was like, "We're friends," and he was like, "We're boyfriends." The black dude was like, "Hold on now, I'm not talking about that. I am not talking about that. I'm talking about this. This bastard right here sitting up here with his spray on tan, trying to make himself look darker, trying to wear the beard. Man, you sir, you are a culture vulture. There's nothing wrong with liking rap music, but when you doing it, you're not authentic. Not at all. And this just proves that you hate yourself. Even your own people that look like you, clowning you. But then at the same point in time, see, this gonna be another jelly roll. This gonna be right here. Y'all see how he was just exposed? See, they come in through the rap, they get our energy, and dumbass black people give it to them. I like Jelly Roll. I like Jelly Roll. Then when he switch up on your ass, I don't like him no more. It's like, how many times does that have to happen for us to see? I'm telling you, I don't want to be around no people, no black people like this. Like, always giving pass, quick to give a pass to the cookout. You get a pass to the cookout. You get a pass to the cookout. And these people ain't doing shit for black people.
Like, Americans are obsessed with black people. It's clear. Even the racist ones. We are obsessed with black people. We love them. Most of us love them. There are a few of us that act like they hate them, but they're also obsessed.
This might fly over some of y'all heads, but
I'ma say it again. Black folks, stop doing stuff like this, and they'll stop labeling us.
Oh my God.
They come into a community, they steal, they don't do anything, they go on food stamps.
I'ma say it again. Black folks, stop doing stuff like this, and they'll stop labeling us.
And what do we have here? Suspect looks like skinless chicken breast. Suspect skin look like spoiled milk. Suspect is still stealing after all these years. Stole land, stole people. Now we're stealing materials. Look. But see, when y'all do it, it's okay. But unless she would have been black, this would have been a lot more filled. This comment section, you see how I only got 408 comments? I ain't even read them. They would have had way more comments if she was black. Because when y'all do it, it's okay. Right. Their original suspects. So either you meant they're the original suspects or the original suspects. But Cortez had it correct. I'm going to manifest destiny this. Because that's what they That's the term they use, manifest destiny.
America has an interesting way of deciding who they label a terrorist. Because when you really look at the facts, the reality is almost comical if it wasn't so tragic. And let me break it down. On one side, you have the Ku Klux Klan. This was a group in 1865 with one goal: terrorize black people. They lynched men, women, and children. They burned down black neighborhoods. They bombed churches. They assassinated black leaders. They ran families off their land. They attacked us in our homes, our schools, our communities. They created nothing. They built nothing. They fed no one. They healed no one. They improved nothing. Their entire purpose was violence, intimidation, and murder. And yet America never labeled them a terrorist organization. Not then, not now. Now, let's look at the group that was labeled an extremist, the Black Panther Party. The Panthers fed children. The KKK hung children. The Panther created free medical clinics. The KKK created dead bodies. The Panthers monitored police to prevent brutality. The KKK was the brutality. The Panthers built community programs that the federal government eventually adopted, including the National Free Breakfast Program for Kids. The KKK burned down the communities where children lived. The Panthers protected black people when no one else would. The KKK terrorized black people because no one would stop them. So explain this to me. How did America look at these two groups and decide the Panthers were the danger? One group was feeding the people, the other was killing the people. But the groups with the guns, the robes, and the bloodstained legacy was somehow seen as patriotic, while the group that wanted equal protection under the law was called a threat. That tells you everything you need to know about how this country interprets black empowerment. The Panthers were infiltrated, targeted, and dismantled by COINTELPRO. Their leaders were killed, framed, or imprisoned. Their community programs were sabotaged. They were painted as violence when they were the ones trying to stop the violence. Meanwhile, the KKK, they marched in peace, they recruited in peace, they murdered in peace, they operated in the open, and even had tax-exempt status for years.
And they're Christians. Let's not forget that. And they are a Christian organization.
Almost as if feeding black children is more threatening in America than killing black families. But here's the truth. Black people have always been the ones building, feeding, teaching, protecting, healing, and uplifting our communities. Even when the system tried to destroy us, we created something powerful. And the legacy of the Black Panthers lives on today in community programs, activists, doctors, lawyers, and leaders who were shaped by their vision. So the question we should be asking is not why the Panthers were labeled terrorists. The question is why the KKK wasn't. Because once you understand that answer, you understand exactly how America sees black power, black unity, and black protection. That's why we tell these stories, not to live in the past, but to understand the pattern. Because when you know the pattern, you learn how to break it. And when you know the truth, you learn how to transform it. Now drop a black fist in the comments and share this with someone who needs to hear this Black History gem.
And everybody, make sure you go visit Constance. Like, she really does great work, you know, and she has a lot of factual information, you know, so check out her page.
A wave of disappointment. One of President Donald Trump's most loyal voting blocs, Cuban and Venezuelan immigrants. Now speaking out in Miami, a Republican stronghold, as the recent wave of deportations hit home and the Trump administration moved to end temporary legal status, or TPS, for more than 500,000 people.
I will vote for Donald Trump. I will vote. That's my song.
One of President Donald Trump's most loyal voting blocs, Cuban and Venezuelan immigrants. Now speaking out in Miami, a Republican stronghold, as the recent wave of deportations hit home and the Trump administration moved to end temporary legal status, or TPS, for more than 500,000 people who arrived during the Biden administration.
530,000 Cubans and Venezuelans that were Trump supporters are getting sent the hell out of here. Nice. Good.
Para mí es bien difícil.
Elena Conde says she came here from Cuba by plane on humanitarian parole in 2023. Her husband, Ariel Lara, crossed the border with Mexico twice, once in 2019 when he was detained and deported, and then again in 2022. 6 weeks ago, he was taken into custody at his residency hearing.
Que vaya a ICE.
So he was given an appointment to go to ICE. You told him before he left for that appointment, you don't have anything to worry about.
Tú no has hecho nada ilegal.
You haven't done anything.
You have nothing to worry about? You've done nothing illegal? Yeah, you have. You look illegal, mama guavo.
Done anything. Instead, he was transferred to Texas, where we spoke to him from his detention center. How do you feel about everything that's happening right now in this country with the deportation? You don't understand how this could happen. What did you think was going to happen?
You don't understand how this could happen? What the hell?
Was going to happen when Trump won? You're saying you believed the president when he said he was going to deport criminals. Now,
Yes, he's deporting criminals. And guess what? I've said it many times before, and I'll say it again. If you look like this, you look illegal. You look like a criminal. In other words, you look like somebody that needs to be deported.
now Elena is left behind.
Issachar is going off. This is Issachar. This right here, this is Issachar. Whether he know it or not. Whether he accept it or not. This is Issachar. This is when I be talking, the Mexicans that look like this, the Hispanics that look like, not you light ones, not you light bright ones. Nah. The ones that be looking like this, and the ones that's darker than him too. But the ones that be looking like this, Issachar. You come from the northern kingdom. You are the 10 lost tribes. You work, you have been taken advantage of. You go and read about Issachar in the Bible. Mexicans are Issachar.
With her daughter, 7-month-old son, and Ariel,
the real ones.
70-year-old grandmother, who has been a U.S. citizen for years. Together, facing a reality.
Casi no puedo dormir. Let me translate that for you. I can barely sleep. You want to know why you can barely sleep? You want to know what's keeping you up all night? You can't believe.
Did he just play the tiny violin? I know he did not just play this tiny violin. I know he did not just play this tiny violin.
Let me translate that for you. I can barely sleep. You want to know why you can barely sleep?
That's the same thing that I'll be putting in my video. Come on, man. If that ain't the spirit, if that's not the spirit moves stuff like the Holy Spirit. That's confirmation right there of what I just said. That's confirmation of what I just said. I don't care. People will clown it. I'm telling you. The real Mexicans. The real ones. The ones that look like this. The ones that look like this. And the ones that's darker. I'm telling you, man. When I used to be in Toledo, I walked up on a group of Mexicans. Man, they look black. I had to they was all on the roof. I had to walk up and squint, cause their hair was still, you know how Mexicans got that good hair, you know. I could tell by the hair, nah, them Mexicans. I could just tell by the hair, but they look black, and they, it's probably because they work on roofs, and so they in the sun and they get darker. You see, they don't have that problem that those Europeans and those Spaniards have. This man could go out into the sun. He's going to get darker. He's not going to have to worry about melanoma. You want to know why? Because his ancestors worked in the fields. And there's going to be Mexicans that look just like him, and they have racial disparities amongst black people. But I'm telling you, you want to be on the right side of history. I'm telling you, if you believe in Christ, you want to be on the right side of history, because Mexicans are the tribe of Issachar.
Sleep? You want to know what's keeping you up all night? You can't believe how you can be this stupid. How you literally voted yes on please target people that look like us. Shit, I wouldn't be able to sleep either.
A reality they never imagined.
Toda mi familia votó por Trump.
Lo apoyaba.
All of my family voted for Trump. In other words, all of your family are a bunch of hijo de puta come pinga.
Lo apoyaba a Trump durante su campaña. Did you support him?
Yo estoy fuera.
You're outside of it. You can't vote. Pero te sientes decepcionada. Do you feel disappointed, deceived, engañada?
Me siento mal porque sé que ellos creían en él.
Cállate el hocico. Enough of the bullshit. In case any of you ever wondered, Ricardo, how do these people that are illegals, undocumented, how could they vote? They didn't, but they were still Trump supporters. They wanted Trump to win. So on one hand, you have the Latinos that are U.S. citizens, that are Americans, that voted for Trump, assuming they're not going to be affected because they're not illegal. And then you have the undocumented ones that couldn't legally vote for Trump, but they were Trump supporters, using their social medias to support Trump, to encourage other people to vote for Trump, etc. And how did this turn out? Well, on one hand, you have the undocumented ones getting deported, of course. And on the other hand, you have the Latinos that are U.S. citizens, meaning that are not undocumented, but guess what? They still look illegal. So as they're minding their business on a daily basis, at their workplace, whatever, they're being targeted. ICE is driving around, looking around to see who looks illegal, to see who sounds illegal. In other words, if you have an accent, this whole thing literally backfired on Latinos, and specifically the Latinos for Trump. And I'm going to calm down while I explain this last part, okay? You know what baffles me the most? And I've said it in other videos, of course. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out what, if you look illegal, we're going to question your legal status. You would think that these Latinos would stop and question, wait a minute, if you look illegal, what does that even mean? And then you look at the news, and every single time that they're shown illegal aliens, they look like this. Their names are Jose, Maria, Juan, Martinez, Guadalupe, Gonzalez, Sanchez, blah, blah, blah. There are plenty of immigrants from Asia, from Africa, from Europe that come here all the time illegally. But yet, when the news is talking about illegal aliens, they're talking about the Jose's, the Marias, the Guadalupes, the Juans.
And you know why? Because if you're Mexican, you are from the tribe of Issachar. They know your Hebrew roots too. I've talked about this all on my Facebook page, the Los Lunas Stones. I've talked about this.
Fredos, the Carlos. And you would think that would raise an alarm on these Latinos. You would hope that our IQ is high enough to say 1 + 1 = 2. But apparently, it's not.
This man uses all my lingo that I be using. It's hilarious. He
Apparently, 1 + 1 = ¿qué? Apparently, 2 + 2 = ándale, ándale, arriba, arriba. Apparently, 4 plus 4 equals sí, viva Mexico. I'm gonna drive around in my little truck with the big old Mexican flag, with the big old Cuban flag, knowing that I'm undocumented, but I'm still gonna...
Cuban, if you are Cuban, and I'm not talking about you light white Cubans. I'm talking about you real Cubans. You dark Cubans. Y'all be looking just like this. You are Manasseh. You are one of Joseph's sons, because remember Joseph, his two sons, Ephraim, who are the Puerto Ricans. Ephraim is the Puerto Ricans. Cubans are the Manasseh. Mexicans are Issachar. The natives from the North American, Gad. The Seminole natives, Reuben. The northern kingdom of Israel is y'all. The Aztecs, the Mayans, they knew this. See, y'all have forgotten some of y'all history too. When y'all first was over here, y'all spoke Hebrew. You did not speak Spanish. You spoke Hebrew.
Put that flag to put a target on myself. I already look like what they're looking for, what looks illegal, but I'm going to go out of my way to make it easier for them. Not only do I look illegal, but I'm going to put the flag of another country on my truck so they could find me easier. And then I'm going to vote for the candidate that says, we're coming for you illegals. And after all that's said and done, after everything that's happening, the only response and reaction from these Latinos for Trump is, what's going on? I thought he said only the criminal. I thought that if I vote and support and show love to a white supremacist, I thought he gonna let me stay here, where I could drive my little truck and wave the flag of another country. And the only thing offensive is seeing you Latinos for Trump get on your videos, call NBC News, wanting an interview, so you can do this. Cry, wanting the world to show compassion to you because what you voted for is coming to bite you in the ass. So what I'm gonna do, like they say in the streets, I'm gonna grab a Latinos for Trump pack and roll it up and smoke it. Because I feel offended when I see these people crying on video, complaining because their vote is coming to knock on their door. In other words, what they're really trying to say is, we were okay with all these other Latinos getting deported. Oh well, that your sons are getting deported, your uncles, your mother, your father is getting deported. We don't care. Ha ha. We don't care. Bye. We don't care.
And I'm sorry, that is what I kind of always felt from that side. Like, it's like, I know you gotta see this. Like, what about your own mom and dad? Like, I mean, I know I'm wanting to talk, but I mean, just like, what about your spouse? Like, what about you? Wow, he's clarifying a lot. Wow.
That you've been here 15 years, 20 years, building a life in the process of gaining your citizenship. We don't care about none of that. But now that all that smoke that they wanted for other Latinos is coming to knock on their door and deporting some of their family members, now all of a sudden they want to do this. We're supposed to feel bad now? Because you're screaming at the top of your lungs? Because your husband got deported? No. Now it's our turn to say, we don't care. Bye. A chingar a su madre pa Cuba. Bye. A chingar a su madre pa Venezuela. Bye. A chingar a su madre para Mexico or wherever else in Latin America that you come from. Oh, well, you voted for it. You don't deserve compassion, pity. You don't even deserve them interviews at ABC, NBC. No. The only reason why they're interviewing you is for the views. But trust me, they don't care about you either. And more than likely, in the editing room, they're laughing. Oh my God, look at these idiots. They voted for this crap and now they over here wanting to be interviewed crying. Like we supposed to feel bad for them. Oh my God. More than likely, that's what's going on in the editing room. Because they're not interviewing you because they care about your pain. Because they care about your family member that was sent the hell out of here. They're interviewing you because they're seizing the opportunity. They're capitalizing. They are exploiting the fact that Latinos are this stupid. And quite frankly, it's entertaining. So let me end this video by looking at this tomato-ass bitch one more time. Come on. Un chanclazo. ¡Cállate el hocico! ¡Come penga! Sorry, that was my Cuban accent. I've been working on it. In case I ever have to come around and make a video like this.
In the end, you will find out. In the end, you will find out. Look, this is 2018. 2018. This is why they remove the lost books out of the Bible. Look at them. They don't look Mexican. Especially this one on the right. They don't look Mexican. They don't look like that. And he don't look Asian. See, this is the real Mexican right here. The real one. He don't look Asian. He don't look Asian. That's why it's pyramids over here too. Here we go. Los Lunas Stone in New Mexico. I know I'm skimming through this kind of fast, but you can pause the video. What does this have to do with Happy White History Month? Because this is what you stole and you hid it. The Los Lunas Stone. They have Hebrew writing on it. This is what it looked like, see? Hebrew writing on it. The Hyksos dynasty. You see, 2018. Puerto Ricans and Cubans.
White backlash, white backlash, white backlash, white backlash.
I love to hear the sound of that.
White backlash. Throughout American history, every time black people have made significant progress, there's been a violent, organized, and emotional response from white America. White backlash. Let's go back. After the Civil War, during Reconstruction, newly freed black men were elected to Congress. Black businesses began to flourish, and black communities were building schools and buying land. But what happened next? White backlash. Groups like the KKK emerged, lynchings increased, and Jim Crow laws were created to strip away the rights that black people had just gained.
That's kind of what I was saying when I was talking about Dr. Claude and Dr. Boyce, and if I could just take them, and if I had magic powers, I could show them, like, we could do another Tulsa, Black Wall Street. But here comes the white backlash. Here comes the white backlash. What we gonna do about the white backlash? That even this generation of white people, they don't even know it lies dormant within them. They don't even know it, because during their generational lifetime, it hasn't happened. There hasn't been a thriving black Wall Street like event that has happened. They made sure that with COINTELPRO, which is, I do talk about COINTELPRO, they made sure that
White backlash. Groups like the KKK emerged, lynchings increased, and Jim Crow laws were created to strip away the rights that black people had just gained. That backlash wasn't about oppression. It was about sharing power. It was about white people feeling threatened by equality, not experiencing oppression themselves. But fast forward to Wilmington, North Carolina in 1898. Black leaders were thriving. Wilmington had a black mayor, black-owned newspapers, and one of the most successful multiracial governments in the South. But white supremacists couldn't stand it. They staged.
I just talked about this. I just talked about the Wilmington race riot. I even sung, and what made me think about it, I sung the song of Cheers. Because when I was looking at this very picture right here from the race riot, I said, damn, them motherfuckers look like Cheers. I don't know. And I sang the Cheers song. So it's on one of my videos. This is spiritual. This is how you know. This is bigger than me. This is bigger than Ricardo. This is bigger than Constance. This is bigger than us individually. This is bigger. Something is on the horizon. And I'm telling you, it's Obadiah. The book of Obadiah. It's only one chapter. Ain't gonna take you that long to read it.
The only successful coup in American history, overthrowing the elected government, burning black businesses, and killing hundreds and driving thousands from their homes. That was white backlash. Every time we
see, and to the little Italian girl, what you don't understand is what was just said. Black folks had to leave their property, had to leave their homes. Imagine somebody coming to your apartment and you having to flee, and then they took all of your stuff. Isn't that theft? Well, that happened to black people over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. That's why I'm reading this race riot. And I have 544, but I've read a lot more. By the time I complete, I've read a lot more than 544 separate events at the hands of white folks who the white government used as an extension, as an arm, to do its bidding against the real Jews. Black people.
have risen, they've responded. When black athletes broke barriers, there was backlash. When black
they moved the goalpost.
students integrated schools, there was backlash. When black professionals started entering boardrooms, there was backlash. And when President Barack Obama became the first black president, it was no different. His election symbolized hope and progress for many of us, but it also exposed the deep resentment festering beneath the surface. That resentment birthed a movement. And Donald Trump didn't create white backlash, he capitalized on it.
They're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the
For decades, white Americans who were uncomfortable with progress stayed silent because racism had become politically incorrect. But Trump and the voices like Charlie Kirk came along and said the quiet part out loud. They used the language of quote-unquote Christian values and America first and taking back our country to make racial fear economic insecurity. It's never about patriotism. It was about white power. This is the cycle of America. Every era of black progress has been followed by white backlash. Reconstruction was followed by Jim Crow. The Civil Rights Movement was followed by mass incarceration. The Obama era was followed by Trumpism. And
this is what I am putting this all together and I'm showing you. Everything that she just said, I'm like, she's giving you the overview, baby. I'm giving you the minute details. Because everybody like details, right? Except for when it's exposing your atrocities against others.
Now, as black folks rise and we become educated, we're leading in businesses, we're owning property, and we're creating wealth, we are seeing the backlash again in politics, education, and media. Here's the truth, though. White backlash only happens when we are progressing. It is proof that the system feels our impact. So don't be discouraged. Be alert. Be intentional. Keep building. Keep owning. And keep teaching the next generation. Because every time they push back, just means we're moving forward. Now drop a black fist in the comments.
Time of the Indian Removal Act, if you did not leave your homeland, watch what happened to you.
If you back up to pre-Jacksonian America, and the time of Indian removal, there's no advantage to identifying as Indian, unless it was very important for you to keep your family and kin and nation together. If you were most interested in remaining where you were, because that was sacred ground where you were living, because you did not want to...
This is a real native. This is a real native. This is a real native. Not a mongoloid from Asia. This is a real native.
Be removed, then there's advantage of identifying as African, which means then
his people didn't cross over no ice bridge. His people didn't do that. And that didn't happen millions of years ago. I keep telling y'all, this earth is not millions of years old. It's not. This earth is not even 20,000 years old. It's not. This is a real native, not a $5 Indian, a real native. Don't look too far off. It's a real native. Like I told you, my grandfather was born on a reservation down in Watley, Alabama. He was born on a reservation. He stayed there till he was 7 years old.
you would not be rounded up, put on the rolls, and sent west, but you could stay right where you were.
Did y'all see that? The American Indians that did not leave their homeland got reclassified as an African. Now, why would they reclassify these people as African if they didn't look like Negroes?
Because of the subtle things that start in childhood. Because of the subtle things that start in childhood.
And whose childhood? Y'all white childhood. And them things weren't so subtle. Watching bodies swing from trees and burn. That wasn't subtle.
A lot of white people are more prejudiced about Negroes than they think they are. For example, how many black people are there in your circle of friends? Are you comfortable with black people? Kind of crowded today, isn't it?
Sure is. It's just that, they don't usually have so many people in here, you know?
Yeah, like they're usually out in the,
What you mean, Hannah? Are you talking about, like, black people? Is that what you mean? I mean, I'm sure you say the same thing about a bar of soap, a wash rag, and running water. Pretty crowded in here. It's not that crowded in here. Normally, yeah, because, Hannah, you're not there. To scrub yourself below the knee and wash your damn feet.
courtyard.
It's windy today, so I guess everybody's inside.
Are you afraid of black people? Do you think they are capable of great violence?
Well, we're definitely capable of greatness.
Does an interracial couple dancing make you get uptight?
Only because I just pray that he's not going to be strung from the back of a pickup truck and drug. Oh, wait, they're asking white people this.
Do you compete harder because you don't want to be beaten by a black team? Or do you play?
But even when you do, you still lose. So does it really matter?
Easier and feel sorry for them because you think they're inferior to you.
Is that what you tell yourself when you lose? Is that what you tell yourself? Oh, they're inferior to us anyway. I mean, y'all do cough out like, one or two greats. Because I grew up during the Chicago Bulls era, so. And Mr. Kerr was one of my favorites, And, they always have some greats. Heard some good things about that Stokovich dude. And Larry Bird, of course. Everybody know Larry.
I like the way they get these colors. And there's Annie and Ken. I'll see you later, okay?
Do you have as close a friendship with a Negro as you have with your white friends?
That's okay, baby. They all smell like wet dog anyway. And they ain't even wet. And they still smell like wet dog. That's okay. She moved away from you because she has lice in her hair. And it's really her mom, her dad, and her brothers and sisters all in her hair. You see, when those other little girls get together, they have their lice family in their hair too. And they all get together and they have a nice family reunion. Talk about how the great used to cling to the goat hair when they were in the caves. They talk about all that stuff. So don't feel bad, baby. Don't feel bad.
How is everyone?
Do you feel that there is something different about black people? Much more than just the color of their skin?
No, you have it. Good personality, you say? Yeah, he's really fantastic.
Don't feel bad, baby, because if she would have touched that, then see, you probably would have got some kind of bacterial infection or something. And you better, move away, because if she sneezes on you, it's over for you. Okay? If she sneezes on you, it's over. I'm talking about bubonic plague. All her family is going to leave from out of her hair and try to make it into your hair, and then they're going to be pissed because, you got a lot of blue magic in your hair, and it's not going to be a good time for them. So, you know, don't feel bad. Don't feel bad.
Do you think of Negroes as a group? Or do you like or dislike them as individuals, as you would a white kid? What would be your reaction to this blood transfusion? For yourself. Would you go to a black dentist?
I don't really know.
A black doctor?
Where is the pain? It's right here in my chest.
May I see it, please? That's our checklist of hidden prejudices. How'd you make out?
They failed. Just ask Jane Elliott. They failed.
There were no Indians here when Christopher Columbus got here. There were no Indians here when Christopher Columbus got here.
This is Jane Elliott.
There were no Indians here when Christopher Columbus got here. There were people from Africa who had been here for over 10,000 years before Christopher Columbus was born. It's time for us to teach our children the truth.
I like Jane Elliott. I love Jane Elliott. She is the Gentile of Gentiles, okay? I like Jane Elliott. I ain't giving her a pass to the cookout, but I do love her. And I believe Gentiles like her are going to be accepted. She's going to be part of that 5%. I do. I really think that. Isaiah 14, 1 and 2, Amos 9, verse 12. That's what I think about Jane Elliott. And she didn't lie. So I'm going to put it to you like this. Before the people who look like Asians, the Mongoloids, before they came here, there was already people here. Okay? And yes, some of those people, they look like Ricardo. Probably a little darker. But, yeah, nonetheless.
Somebody stood over you and you knew it was going to happen every day? Or you expected it to happen every day? Or it happened when you didn't expect it to? Or it happened to your kids every day? After it happened to your mother every day? Now, getting right along. Your hand is still up. You still didn't learn anything, did you? Didn't I just say when your hand is up, you are thinking of what you're going to say instead of what's being said? Didn't I just say that?
Yes, you did.
And did you hear that?
Yes, I did.
And did you decide that you were just going to do it your way?
I was.
Wait a minute, you were on a roll
yes,
there for
I
a minute.
did.
Thank you very
yes,
much.
Yes, I did.
Now, since you choose to not listen to others, what do you suppose we're going to do where you're concerned?
Listen to me.
Thank you very much.
May I finish what I was saying,
no, because you're still thinking of what you're going to say instead of what I'm saying. Now, getting right along.
I heard what you were saying.
You're doing it again.
What you were
you're
saying.
doing it again.
I don't care.
You're doing it again.
It's wrong.
You're doing it again.
Persecuted her for standing
you're
out.
You're doing it again.
Persecuted him for standing out. The only change that ever happens is when people stand out and I have to stand back.
Martin Luther King Jr.
Oh, you can't handle it, huh, Miss Susie? You can't handle it.
Here was shot. Are you in any physical danger here?
Exactly.
Are you in any physical danger here?
Exactly.
Is that correct?
That's how you maggots act. You MAGA supporters, this is exactly how you act. This is you, MAGA supporters, after you have found out that Dump did you in.
Martin
Persecuted her for standing out.
Doing it again.
Persecuted him for standing out.
Hey, Nick Fuentes.
The only change that ever happens is when people stand out and I have to stand back.
Martin Luther King Jr. was shot. Are you in any physical danger here? Are you in any physical danger here? Is that girl in any physical danger here? Emmett Till was hanged by his neck after he was beaten almost to death, simply because he made a statement to a white woman. People at this institution...
You've made your point, you're right.
Yeah, thank you very much. What is my point that I've made?
That you can't make generalizations about any place because there's racism everywhere.
That's right. And while it may be... No. You don't come back in here until you've apologized to every person in this room. Because you just exercised a freedom that none of these people of color had. When these people of color get tired of racism, they can't just walk out, because there's no place in this country where they aren't going to be exposed to racism. They can't even stay in their own homes and not be exposed to racism if they turn on the television. But you, as a white female, when you get tired of being judged and treated unfairly on the basis of your eye color, you can walk out that door. And you know it won't happen out there.
Half a ass, hussy.
You exercise the freedom they don't have. If you're going to be in here, you're going to apologize to every black person in this room. And do it now.
I'm
and
sorry.
the Latinos. Every person of color.
Racism in this country.
Bullshit! No, you're not going to say, I'm sorry there's racism. You're going to apologize for what you just did.
Okay, so I've been looking for, y'all know when I be looking for specific videos towards the end. This was one of my favorite videos that she had ever did. And so I'm going to let her cook. We're going to start from the beginning and then I'm going to move on. But I was looking for this specific video at the end.
Out where the first modern human being evolved on this earth. And what they found was that the first modern human being who evolved on this earth was a black female. And in every one of your genes runs the memory of that first black female. People of color have been on the earth longer than white people have. That's a fact. I want every white...
They don't like to hear that. Y'all don't like to hear that. And you tried to erase it.
Than white people have. That's a fact. Earth longer than white people have. That's a fact. Earth longer than white people have. That's a fact. I want every white person in this room who would be happy.
That let me know everything. That little smirk that she gave. Look.
Have been on the earth longer than white people have. That's a fact.
Look at that little smirk she gave and the look in her eyes. This bitch. I don't believe that. I've teased and feathered my hair. Even though I wanted to look like a black woman's. Still goat hair.
I want every white person in this room who would be happy to be treated as this society in general treats our citizens, our black citizens. If you, as a white person, would be happy to receive the same treatment that our black citizens do in this society, please stand. You didn't understand the directions. If you white folks want to be treated the way blacks are in this society, stand. Nobody's standing here.
Look at her face. Did you see her face?
Society, stand. Nobody's standing here.
Look at her face. Did I just hear her ask this? Holy moly. Did she just ask this? Agnes, did you hear this? Are you hearing this, Agnes? Agnes heard you, bitch.
Blacks are actions. If you white folks want to be treated the way blacks are in this society, stand. Nobody's standing here. That says very plainly that you know what's happening. You know you don't want it for you. Now, where the first modern...
Bitch, I don't give a fuck. This was groundbreaking to me. Look at the looks on their faces. This was another moment when they was faced with their racism. Right here. This was another moment. This is one of her most talked about videos.
Every white person in this room who would be happy to be treated as this society in general treats our citizens, our black citizens. If you, as a white person, would be happy to receive the same treatment that our black citizens do in this society, please stand. You didn't understand the directions. If you white folks want to be treated the way blacks are in this society, stand. Nobody's standing here. That says very plainly that you know what's happening. You know you don't want it for you.
And I ain't give her a pass to the cup, but as you can see, she already got one. And I ain't gonna say nothing. No, I love Jane Elliott, though. I do. I love her. Like, she is a relic. She is a relic. Nothing but love. Oh, yes. I've showed this video a few times. Because this is the perfect follow-up video. Because in the end of that video, she said, you know you don't want it for you. Well, I'm about to show you. About to show you why. Because they know.
What kind of man would risk his life just to understand what it means to be black in America? Not read about it, not debate it, but actually live it. In 1959, a white journalist named John Howard Griffin made a decision that most people would never make. He darkened his skin medically and traveled through the Deep South as a black man. Not for a moment, not for a headline, for 6 weeks. And the moment he crossed that line, everything changed. He went from privilege to persecution. Doors that once opened for him were now closed. Basic services were denied. He was watched, followed, and treated like a threat. He couldn't use restrooms, sit in restaurants, or drink from the same water fountains. And the same people who once spoke to him in kindness now met him with hostility. He said something that shook people. I've become a nobody. Pause. Let that sink in. Because what broke him in a matter of weeks, we've endured for generations. Not temporarily, not experimentally, but as a lived reality. There are people today who will tell you racism doesn't exist anymore. They'll say we talk about it too much. They'll say we make excuses. But these are the same people who would not trade places with us. Not for a day, not for even an hour. And you cannot invalidate an experience you've never had. You cannot minimize a reality you've never lived. And you don't get to call it an excuse when you've benefited from not having to endure it. Because what he experienced wasn't just uncomfortable. It was dangerous. He had objects thrown at him while people yelled slurs. He was stalked through the streets by a man threatening him. He experienced what he called the hate stare. Everywhere he went, he was disrespected, degraded, and treated like he didn't belong there. Even getting a ride became a risk. People picked him up just to intimidate him.
Ain't that crazy? You pick somebody up just to fuck with them. Just to fuck with them. You cannot tell me that this is not Genesis 25, Genesis 27, and verse 41. These people have a perpetual hatred for us. No. Because we have ones like Jane Elliott. That's why I'm also trying to show people like that too. To let it be known, we do have people that stand in solidarity with us. And I do recognize that. And if I offend one of them, then, I apologize for that. But to you maggots and to you secret MAGA supporters, I hope you feel every piece of this documentary, of this report. Happy White History Month. This is your background check.
This wasn't just racism. This was psychological warfare, constant pressure, constant tension, constant awareness that something could happen at any moment. And here's the truth. He could take it off. We couldn't. And when he told the truth, what he exposed, what he experienced, that's when it escalated. He received death threats. He was hanged in an effigy. A cross was burned in response to his work. His family was put in danger. It got so severe he had to leave the country and move to Mexico just to be safe. Now,
that's why when you read the book of Revelation, when they talk about the 12 gates, see what this man did? He put on that black skin and he got a little piece. He got a little piece of Deuteronomy 28:15 through 68. He got a little bit of it. He didn't get the full effect. See, because when he go to buy that home, even if he would have had that black skin, his white credit would have still showed up. So, he didn't get the full effect. But just for a little moment, he couldn't handle Deuteronomy 28:15 through 68. Like Issachar could, like Judah could, and did. Like Benjamin, who are the Jamaicans and the people in the Caribbean islands, and Levi, who are the Haitians. Simeon is the Dominican Republic. They'll be dueling brothers. That's why they don't get along, because they're dueling brothers. That's in the Bible. Nah. They couldn't handle what black people been through. They couldn't handle what the real Mexicans and the real natives been through. They couldn't handle that. That's why there's no gate with the name Esau on it in the book of Revelation. But there is a gate for Judah. There is a gate for Issachar. There is a gate for Ephraim and Manasseh and Reuben, who are the Seminole natives down in Florida, stretching all the way up into Alabama and Arkansas.
understand this. We didn't need nobody to validate our experience. This wasn't about discovery. This was simply about exposure. And let's bring this into today, because segregation didn't just impact where we sat. It impacted where we could live, what we could own, how we could build wealth. And we are still dealing with the ripple effects of that right now. And even after everything we've been through, even after being overlooked, denied, and disrespected, we are still here, y'all. And there is a reason for that, because what they see, whether they admit it or not, is greatness. They see brilliance and resilience. They see power. They see a people who continue to rise in spite of everything designed to break them. And that makes them uncomfortable. Now drop a black fist in the comments and share this with someone who needs to hear this.
And we are going to end with this. We are going to end with this. Now, in this video, she talked about COINTELPRO. I don't know if I've talked about COINTELPRO. I know it's on my list out of the 544. I know it is. But I can't think of if I've talked about it right now. Right now, I'm in a race riot section. So, but, she's going to talk about it here.
Can you guess what the FBI said was the biggest threat to America? It wasn't drugs. It wasn't foreign enemies or terrorism. And it definitely wasn't the whack-ass KKK who had been terrorizing black communities for centuries. According to J. Edgar Hoover, the biggest threat to America was Negro unity. That's why the FBI launched COINTELPRO. Been terrorizing black communities for centuries. According to J. Edgar Hoover, the biggest threat to America was Negro unity. That's why the FBI launched COINTELPRO, the counterintelligence program. This wasn't about... According According to J. Edgar Hoover, the biggest threat to America was Negro unity. That's why the FBI launched COINTELPRO, the counterintelligence program. This wasn't about protecting the country. This was about destroying black progress. So let me give you some real examples. The FBI sent Dr. King a letter encouraging him to kill himself. They threatened him with recordings from illegal surveillance and told him he was a fraud. They spread lies about Malcolm X. They forged letters pretending to be the Nation of Islam members to turn Malcolm against Elijah Muhammad.
They, through my research on the COINTELPRO thing, they literally said in their documents, make it to where there will never be a black Messiah. They literally said that. In the end, all these, man, you white folks, like you everyday white, y'all gonna find out, man, the government lied to y'all so hard. Like, they lied to y'all so hard. I've already did a video. It's gonna be like when Kano kicked Sonya in the stomach on the very first Mortal Kombat movie. That's what it's gonna be like. When regular white folk find out how the government lied, how they were thrown under the bus by the Jewish people, it's gonna be anarchy. You thought January 6th was something. Shit.
They smeared the Black Panthers. They leaked fabricated stories calling them violent criminals when the Panthers were running a free breakfast program in health clinics. They knew one thing. If they could destroy your name, they could weaken your message. And yes, they had people working with them. They had informants used to discredit and divide. Gene Roberts.
Some of these informants was our very own people. And that's so disheartening as I'm reading some of these race riots. Our own people turning our own people in. Like, for instance, like let's say you got some you on a master's or slave plantation, right? And the neighboring plantation, that the neighboring plantation slaves is planning to escape. So what you go do is you go tell on them instead of leaving with the few people of at your plantation that found out and they want to go. So you go tell on all of them. That's Judas. Judas was black. I'm telling you. All the disciples, they were black.
A black NYPD officer posing as a Panther infiltrated the New York chapter. William O'Neill, the most infamous informant, became chief of security for the Illinois Panthers. He gave the FBI a detailed floor plan of Fred Hampton's apartment. Ernest Withers, a respected civil rights photographer, secretly provided names and intel on organizers in Memphis. They weren't random people. They were placed strategically to break our movements from the inside. COINTELPRO didn't just attack leaders, they attacked unity. They used chaos as a weapon.
I just want to find out, like, from old dude, like, why? Why are you doing this? Like, why? Like, why? Like, what do you think you gonna get out of this? Do you think all you gonna get is a good pat on the head? Good job, nigga. That's all you gonna get. It's crazy. And that's how they got Malcolm X. They used our own people. Paid the money. I mean, we could definitely have another black Messiah. And I'm not saying it has to be me, because definitely I wouldn't want it, because I know. I have a target on my back, not from just white folk, but from my own people. From my own people. It's crazy.
Infiltrators pushed violent rhetoric in meetings to make the Panthers look dangerous. They sent fake threats pretending to be from the Panthers to the U.S. organization, sparking deadly conflict at UCLA where Bunchy Carter and John Huggins were killed. They harassed donors, blocked permits, and sabotaged the Poor People's Campaign after Dr. King was assassinated. Their goal was simple. If you can't stop the movement, disrupt it until it collapses from the inside. And when discrediting and disrupting wasn't enough, they moved to destruction. Fred Hampton was only 21 when he was assassinated in his sleep. The FBI paid informant William O'Neill to drug Hampton the night before. Police fired nearly 100 shots into the apartment using the map O'Neill provided. Black Panther officers were raped.
That man gonna burn in hell. You gonna burn in hell for what you did to your own brother. You gonna burn. Like, but I would just like to I'm just trying to wrap my mind around, like, why? Why did you do that? Like, do you not care? Like, so you don't care about your own people. Let's make that clear. Like, I definitely want a straight answer. That's a yes or a no. Are you jealous of this man? I don't get it.
Nationwide, and community programs were destroyed. Geronimo Pratt was framed for murder and imprisoned for 27 years, even though the FBI hid proof that he was 400 miles away. Leaders like Angela Davis, Bobby Seale, and Huey Newton were repeatedly arrested on false charges designed to bankrupt and dismantle the movement. This wasn't a coincidence. This was the strategy. What scared J. Edgar Hoover wasn't black violence, it was black unity, black education, black economics, black leadership, and black love. And listen, the greatest way to honor our history is to rebuild the unity that they feared. So let's get back to doing what they feared the most, being a threat through unity. Now drop a black.
I'm sorry, but I said that was gonna be but I was saving this video for my video that I'm gonna do in the future. To black folk, my own folk. And I showed you the little fight and stuff earlier. But this video, man, I haven't heard of this, but I was just outdone. I was outdone when I heard this shit. I was outdone. Like this guy that the story, a black man snitched on 77. Like this is who I want to interview. Just like, why? Like, why? Like, so you couldn't find nobody else? It had to be her? I don't get it. A black man snitched on 77 enslaved people. This is the D.C. Wharf when April 1848, 77. Among them were children laborers and even Ellen Stewart. In fact, it was the largest attempt to escape from slavery ever recorded in U.S. history. Entered Judson Diggs. He was a free man who helped the escapees reach the docks, but he harbored a bitter, selfish grudge. Diggs was reportedly furious that one of the women on board had rejected his proposal. He alerted the... Wow. The fallout was brutal. Most were sold south as punishment. So, other people had to suffer because of your horny ass lust and your pride and your ego. I'm telling y'all, when Kanye said slavery was a choice, you see the choice that man just made, right? You see the choice that man just made. And some of these celebrities, I'm going to tell y'all like this. Some of these celebrities, they are just like this man. They embody the same spirit that this man embodied. We're going to have to be extra careful because some of these celebrities, they don't mean us no good. Some of your favorite boxers who will go support a racist store after they put out a racist sweater. See, they come over here and they talk that macho shit to us, but they be total bitches for these Ewish people. A lot of these black celebrities have the same spirit. A lot of your pastors and preachers, they have the same spirit. Oh, because it wasn't them that was coming forth with this knowledge. Nah, I don't want that message being, because it's not them bringing it forth. Yeah, so this was crazy. How a single man's ego turned a miracle into a tragedy. It's crazy. Crazy. But you know what? This stuff like this is how I know that black folk are the children of Israel. That's how I know. Because that's how the children of Israel treated each other. Nasty, just like that. Evil, just like that. And we still have not. And it's gotten worse because of, Willie Lynch and stuff like that. But it's crazy. So, shout out to my Italianos and my Irish. Okay? Shout out to y'all. Because on little fake olive oil has so much to say about the Italians. Well, your Italians wasn't going through this, baby. Your Italians weren't going through this.
Thomas Jefferson, Jeffrey Epstein, and yeah, America has always been like this. Let's talk about it. I've said this before, Thomas Jefferson is like my historical arch nemesis. I find him fundamentally hypocritical, and I hate everything about him. Thomas Jefferson was the third president of the United States and one of the authors of the Declaration of Independence, in which he wrote that all men were created equally, right? So he did decry slavery pretty routinely, but at the same time, was a slave owner. Oh, and not to mention, was sexually assaulting an enslaved child and then woman for the entirety of her life. Thomas Jefferson sexually assaulted Sally Hemings from the age of 14 for the rest of her life. He met her at 14 when she was a child. He first impregnated her forcibly when she was 16, and he ultimately had 6 children by her, all of whom he enslaved, right? This is psychotic behavior, which is to say that Thomas Jefferson, one of the first presidents of the United States, engaged in the very behavior we have read about in the Epstein files. But it doesn't stop there. Let's zoom out and look at the history of enslavement as a whole. What you have learned in school has been incredibly sanitized. You have no idea how brutal, how disgusting, how psychologically twisted that institution really was. And they do that all in part to save white feelings from being hurt, but also to perpetuate this idea that America is this shining city on the hill, that it is exceptional in nature. Let me tell you what happened to enslaved people. Among many other things, they were literally bred. Slave owners would sexually assault their own slaves, both as a form of psychological torture and dominion, but also to create more enslaved people. Despite the horrors of enslavement, these enslaved people did form families. They fell in love and they created children, but they were never promised the life together. They were routinely torn apart, sold asunder, sent to different plantations, and they had no means of keeping track of one another. Slave owners would also just torture enslaved people for the fun of it, right? It was entertainment for them. And you also see that in the Epstein files. And forced labor and deprivation of regular human necessities were truly and fundamentally baked into the system, right? These enslaved people were not fed normal amounts. They were not housed in good conditions. They were not really given that much shelter. They were not given medicine. They were not taken care of. And you know that Declaration of Independence that this whole country lauds as this beautiful founding document? 56 white men signed that document, and 41 of them were slave owners. Of course, those men had children of their own, white children, but also a significant percentage of those signers of the Declaration of Independence had black children begotten from enslaved women. At least 12 of the United States presidents owned enslaved people, 8 of whom did so while actually being president. The first president of this great nation, George Washington, owned more than 600 slaves, and he paid like 6 pounds and 2 shillings or something like that to extract teeth from an enslaved person and use them for his own. Which is all to say, the rot that we find in the Epstein files is the rot of America, is the original sin of this country. This is exactly who America has always been, and it's important to keep that in mind.
The Ku Klux Klan does not stop at floggings. 8 years ago in Birmingham, Alabama, a group of Klansmen committed the most heinous crime short of murder. As a warning to civil rights leaders, they abducted this man and castrated him.
They hit me in the back of the head, told me to lay down, and they all grabbed me, stretched me out. One stood on this arm, and one stood on this one. And one caught my leg and spread it apart. Then he got help from the other one, and they spread my leg apart. The boss ordered him to do your way, and they went to cutting on me. When they got through cutting me, they put turpentine on me. Said I went hollering, put turpentine on to make it hurt more. I don't believe they're human.
The Ku Klux Klan does not.
Wow. That man said he don't believe y'all human. That's because you was messing with them Nephilim. You know, the quote-unquote Anunnaki, the Nephilim. Yeah, I said it. Anyway, I hope you have enjoyed this lovely broadcast show. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your support. Doesn't it feel good that ain't no collection plate being passed around? Ain't no, all right, we need to raise. Who is we? Who is we need to raise? Ain't none of that. Just remember, I ain't asked you for a dime, but I do thank you for your time. You have a blessed day now. You hear? Love you.